Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everybody from all around the world, hello and welcome to another episode of The Watchable with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. Let's make some noise, everybody. Clap it up, get excited wherever you are. We're here, we're live, we're back, and we're excited to have you all with us on the shows. We have a lot to cover in the world of boxing and beyond on our podcast. On today, we got Devin Haney training with another Hall of Fame, and this is going to be speaking to him moving forward in his next step in his career at 147. Now, he may have answered some questions that I'm very excited to hear about. No question about it. Also, we're going to talk about more about Dave Benavidez as well, like we see with Moonman in the chat down below. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the stream with us on day. Yeah, we're going to be talking about Dave Benavidez. Also, on top of more stuff with Inoue, more stuff with even Tank Davis, who is hinting that he's going to be coming back on our airways. Wait a minute, hold on. Oh shoot, wait, oh no, wait, oh no. Hey, I just realized something. Dang it, I just realized something. I'm sorry, Moon Man, we are going to discuss Dave Benavidez. However, the thumbnail that I made didn't update. Oh my gosh. No wonder. I was trying to figure out what. Shoot. Man. Okay, that's on me. That's my fault. That's mulligan on my part. Well, look, we're still going to talk about him. We're still going to talk about Benavidez. We're still going to talk about Naoya Inoue. But we had Devin Haney, Tank, and Inoue as the main characters for this show, and then later on it was going to be Dave Benavidez in championship round. We were going to cover all of it, but I accidentally forgot to switch. Not forgot. I didn't. The thumbnail that I picked didn't switch. Oh gosh, that's my fault. Excuse me. My apologies. Either way, we're going to have a fun show. We're going to be talking about Benavidez and so much more right here on our airways on today. So please leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Comment your thoughts and opinions on what you like about this show, as well as on what we talk about. We want to hear your voice and your conversations and your debates in all of this action. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and do the most important thing, which is to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together, all with you and your support. We can make this thing into the hottest show imaginable to make our community bigger, better, and stronger, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. And if you want to support the channel monetarily, if you feel so inclined to give alms to the empire, we have Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description, as well as super chat, super gift, stickers, and the like, all for your usage if you want to help us out, help me to pay the bills, and also help us to make this show better for you to witness and enjoy. Finally, rate 5 stars wherever you listen to podcasts. And hey, be sure to keep on tuning in and keep on chatting, because we're going to have a lot to discuss. But with all that being said, we got boxing to cover. We got sports to delve into. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time to step into the ring. Oh yes, come on. Let's get it started. Ring the bell. It's time to work. It's time to shine it with the first topic of the day. Well, honestly, we because I kind of teased, or rather because you all were misled due to my apparently oversight in the thumbnail. We can make a quick addendum. And Moon Man, since you wanted to talk about Benavidez, we can start with Benavidez first and foremost on our show on today. Let's go. Let's get it popping. We can start talking about Benavidez right now. We'll lead off with it. When we're looking at Benavidez, again, we're with him fighting Zerto for the Cruiserweight Championship. Everybody's excited. Everybody's enthralled. Everybody is elated. And we all understand this is a historic event and matchup that happened from the perspective of Benavidez is finally getting a shot at being in the sun and in the spotlight to finally get a belt inside of the ring. Something he was robbed of with Canelo. Something he was robbed of when it came to Dimitri Bivol. Something we almost thought he would never get a chance to do. Now he's getting that cruiserweight. But we have to look at this from a different lens, or rather from a wider scope of lens beyond just the world of the cruiserweight. And with everybody coming down between cruiserweight and light heavyweight, We got to ask, brother, can this brother really just go and run roughshod through both divisions? And we say that because the question comes to mind with Beeble and Better BF, more so Better BF anything. Brother, we don't know who can beat this cat. Who can beat him? Who can beat him? I don't know. It's a scary thought to think. I'm getting scared because we got to be real. This fight with Zerto looks interesting, and it definitely is something that's going to be the biggest test. But my gosh, we beat him. But I don't know who he's going to beat next. And also, Burr, I see you in the chat. How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show. And we're so happy that you're here with us on today. But yeah, B-Vol is next. Per the words of Dave Benavidez himself. You're right. The brother says after he goes and fights at cruiserweight, after he becomes unified champion, after he goes through and is able to conquer the reins of the cruiserweight world, at least get the majority of the titles, he is coming back down to light heavyweight. My gosh. My goodness. That's a scary thought. That's a horrifying that's a horrifying reality. That is, in fact, going to be true. This brother's going to be coming back down. He's going to come back down to potentially fight both of them. It ain't just B-Ball that we're concerned about. This might be B-Ball and Better BF that he's going to be coming down trying to fight. Not even trying to fight. He's going to come down to fight. Straight up. And if that's the case, my gosh, that's greatness. But also, would it be fair to say maybe he would be favored in both of those fights, at least in the B-Ball fight, depending on how he goes and fight, because he's fighting against was it Eifert? I believe in Bibble's return later in the summer, depending on how he looks and depending on how Benavidez looks when he fights against Zerto. There's a whole cacophony of potential opportunity in terms of, but he may just look truly unstoppable. Again, if you don't want to take my word for it. And also, I don't know why I'm so choppy all of a sudden. Let me see if I can fix that while I'm still talking. But in the meantime, while I'm discussing it, I'm going to be showing you all picture in picture, let you see exactly what Better BF, excuse me, not Better BF. See, it's too many B's in this in this conversation. But let me let you see exactly what Benavidez is looking to do. If you don't want to take my word for it, of how Benavidez is really trying to move in the framework of him taking his next steps and essentially saying, hey, smoke's not finished, the smoke is just getting started. Let me go on and play right here and switch to the old picture in picture, let you see exactly what is going on.
Bivol, all my respects to him, and I don't want to make him seem like he's scared.
Hold on, wait a minute, hold on.
Well, because Bivol, all my respects to him, and I don't want to make him seem like he's scared or nothing, but
good Lord, see, hold on, wait a minute, hold on.
He knows what it is when it comes to David Benavidez. He's seen me up close and personal, and I've seen him up close and personal as well. He's a great fighter. We have some great sparring sessions, but he knows I'm not coming to play. He knows that when David Benavidez steps in that ring, all those belts are leaving with David Benavidez. So I think he knew the danger and the severity of this fight. So I felt like that's why he took a tune-up fight first. And, I respect Dimitri Bivol. He's a great fighter, but he's definitely going to have to come see me after this fight. Well, because...
So again, from the horse's mouth, and again, I apologize. I don't know why the stuff was stuttering like it was. That is something. Again, we're going to fix it while we're going through. But as you can see, the brother's looking for blood. He's looking for war. And he's looking to go and conquer the landscape. And it would be remiss if I didn't start looking at his picture and say, hey, I dare say I might have to favor Benavidez. I might, if we're just strictly looking out this way. Yes, we understand Bivol beat Ultimate BF. Bivol at this point in time is seen as the best light heavyweight fighter in the land. Sure. But we've gotten a chance with Bivol out the picture, due to injury, to kind of really dissect and appreciate the skill and ability of Benavidez beyond just the flashiness of the speed and destruction. We call Bivol one of the best technical fighters that we have in the world. Heart of a lion, went toe-to-toe with one of the most destructive punchers in the land, and Artem to be up 2 times in a row and never got knocked down as well as they would have beat him. Dare I say even rocked him. Insane. Beat Canelo. He beat Zurdo. When Zurdo was at light heavyweight, he's been able to be a consistent staple of discipline, legacy, as well as talent. Got it all. And again, chin, heart, speed, footwork, has everything. The biggest thing about that fight with Bivol and Beterbiev that made me concerned was the fact that, hey, that speed and movement may be something to give Benavidez a lot of trouble. Something that he may be concerned with. Now, the scariest fight was Artem Beterbiev. Power versus power, slugfest versus slugfest. That was the fight I was really scared of, because I'm thinking Beterbiev can be the man that potentially gives Benavidez a taste of his own medicine when it comes to the bludgeoning power, the damage, the danger, and barely throwing any force on his shots, goes and busts you up. That's what he does. It's like a modern day Rocky Marciano in some respects, where he just hits whatever he needs to. Straight, he just went to his again, a simplistic destruction. That's what he is, in the best way possible. But Bivol is more of a Rubik's Cube. He's more of a math equation. Very much a layered fighter in ways that many others aren't. But we've now seen Benavidez take on layers of his own that we have to say at this point, hey, this man is more than just a speedy, punching, 6'2" monster machine. This man ain't just a bludgeoning force that just wants to come forward and just decimate. Yes, he still does, but he's more than that. He's not a monster, he's a smart monster. He's not just a Mexican monster, he is a thinking computer. We may have to say, if Bivol went up against him, especially how he's been looking in his last 3 fights up there at light heavyweight, and depending on how he looks at cruiserweight, he can come back down to light heavyweight easy. He can come and make way for Bivol easily. And I think he would have the tools to be able to give Bivol more than he can handle. Truly, I do. Truly, I do. I do. And that's why the question down in the chat, or the question on the screen, is the question on the screen. Brother, who can stop this man? With how we now see Benavidez and Bivol, for many being the, under cruiserweight, being the best option to beat him for a lot of people. Either him or Artem Beterbiev. I'm starting to think there may not be a brother that can beat him. Outside of, again, Zurdo maybe with that fight. And then if he looks good there, all of a sudden maybe the only guy that can actually do it, maybe Jaya Patai. If we see this crowning of Benavidez take hold and be real, and my gosh, if it is, boy, that'll be something special. But let me see what you all got to say on the day. Zurdo Ramirez has the weight advantage, experience, and Benavidez the speed and the hunger. And look, we can talk about that. We can talk about it. We can talk about Zurdo and Benavidez. If you want to say that's the man that can take him out, definitely is possible. But I'm just scared if we see after that, if we do see him beat him, it may not be there may not be a brother up here that can beat him. It may not be. He may not get that type of, okay, somebody gonna stop that momentum, maybe till he gets out the heavyweight. If we see him handle Zurdo. And yes, Zurdo has experience. He's been in the ring with people that are so well and good. Again, like Dimitri Bivol. Now, cruiserweight has been a little bit thin. Not even a little. A lot thin up here in the higher ranks. Even in the elite caliber. Doesn't mean that he isn't good. No, he's still worth his weight in salt. But some people may say a little bit, the name recognition for some fans may be something to be desired. But even with that aside, the talent of him is real. And everything about him is fervent and tangible. The build, the durability, the smooth counterpunching, the fluidity of his offensive flow. He's got a gas tank, even though he's a heavy-set brother. But I just think, even with that experience, I don't think that's going to be enough. Because he's faced up against caliber of talent like Benavidez with Bivol. But he lost. Now again, they've gotten better, grown, we get that. So he's known what it's been like to be in the ring with the pound-and-pound level fighter. But he hasn't been in the ring with this type of fighter before. Somebody with this high of a pace. Somebody who is this relentless as well as accurate. Martin Benavidez last, I think he's one of the more accurate punchers in all of boxing, as well as one of the most active punchers in all of boxing. Insane combination. And now he's looking like he's carrying power at the end of his run at 175 for now. With this knockout with Anthony Yarde, who's only been knocked out by Sergey Kovalev and Artur Beterbiev. So we're looking at him saying, hey, buddy, you bring that up here? And all of a sudden now you got legitimate pop. You got a speed that looks like it's faster than Zurdo. You got a gas tank that, if it sticks, may be as good as Zurdo. And with everything that Zurdo brings, even with experience, you match or exceed with skill and athletic ability. Not in height, because he's big. Zurdo's bigger. Not in reach, because I think Zurdo's longer. But as a fighter, you're a better fighter than Zurdo. And as a boxer, skill-wise, there's an argument you're more skilled than him. So in most facets, you got him beat. Even if it's by a slim margin, at least in my opinion, on paper. That's why I'm saying I'm excited for this fight, because this shows what I think is going to show with Beterbiev, or excuse me, what's going to show with David Benavidez. The Mexican Monster is about to put on one of the best performances of his career. I'm dead serious. I'm serious. I'm so serious. The Mexican Monster may just be able to put on the pinnacle performance that we've seen in his tenure as a boxer, with everything that he's done. With the Caleb Plant fight, with the David Lemieux fight, with any fight you can pick up, Anthony Yarde, his debut with Gavazzi, David Morrell. It could outshine all of that. The fight that he won his first title with, it could outshine it all. I'm telling you, he can be built to put on that type of insane display against a brother who, while he has his own repertoire that is elite, it's only him and Jaya Patai that reign over the division. Ain't nobody else coming close to them. He's special like that. He's special, man. So I'm telling you, I think we're going to see something special. I think we're going to see something incredible. Let me keep on reading what you all got to say. Let me see. Beach Skull, what's going on with you? How you doing? Thank you for tuning in. Salute to you and everybody in the chat. Hopefully, you're leaving a like on the video. I want to keep on hearing you, see you, comment your thoughts and opinions. Keep on chatting and keep on sharing the show with everybody that you can, so we can keep on building up this empire together. No question about it. Let me see. You saying you pick Bebo. I'm assuming you're saying you pick Bebo to win, or you're saying Bebo's gonna be next after Zurdo. Yes, that is true, at least per the words of David Benavidez. But let me see. Ramon Vasquez. Also, if I didn't say hi to you before, how you doing? Salute to you. Good to see you. Thank you for showing up on the show. If you compare Benavidez to his last fights, it's hard to tell because he's getting better every fight. See, you are right. You're right about that. We're going to come back to this, but you're absolutely right about that. But let me see. Benavidez wins against Bivol. Bivol isn't a knockout artist. He works well with the jab, though. It's just Benavidez is too relentless. Now, see, I agree, but I got to push back a little bit. Just because he doesn't have the same knockout power does not mean that Bivol is going to be, there's going to be nothing he can do. Because we said the same thing about him fighting Artur Beterbiev. that he doesn't have the knockout power to push Beterbiev back. And ultimately, we had a fight of the year, the first fight, and then a fight just as good, the second fight, with Bivol pushing him back the next fight. Coming forward, fighting in the pocket against the most dangerous man that boxing had to offer at that point in time. 100% knockout ratio. And the only person he had knocked out was you. And he hurt you the first time and won the fight. You beat him. And I even said this. The only way Bivol was going to be able to beat Artur Beterbiev, he had to fight him in his own yard and take stake in the pocket with Artur Beterbiev, and he did it. And we said that's the most dangerous thing you can do, and you're foregoing your best attribute of your legs. And Bivol did it anyway, and he pulled him out of victory. Now, he's going to have to do that with David Benavidez again. But because he's already done it against somebody that much of an elite talent, he's got the capacity to do it again. He does. And mind you, this is an even more healthier Artur Beterbiev with even better healing of that meniscus tear, I believe. It was either ACL or meniscus tear that he had in the first fight that Beterbiev won. There was, I don't think there was a thing on his knee the second fight, or at least he was saying he was 100% healthy. And he was fighting like it. And Bivol beat him the second time. So it's like, there's going to be some real, not just animosity, but there's going to be some real pushback from Bivol, because he's dealt with relentless pressure before. He's been in the fire with somebody that at this division, Beterbiev a better puncher. And is just as relentless, even though he does it in a different way. So it's still going to be that I think Beterbiev will win. But I'm not going to say it's going to be easy, because I know what Bivol has been through. He's been in that same fire twice against somebody who's a killer in that same vein as Artur Beterbiev. In David Benavidez as his next potential opportune fighter. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. I will say that. But let me see. Johnny Blaze, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. Let me see what you got to say. Going to cruiserweight and then dropping 25 pounds to go back down to fight Bivol. I don't even believe it. And I don't either. But we said the same thing. Him coming up to 175 and then him saying, I'm willing to drop back down to fight Canelo if he actually gives me the fight for his titles at the time when he was reigning as champion. We were saying the same verbiage there. However, I think looking back now and looking at his current situation, I think it's doable. I think now it's going to be smart. He better do it slow, like with Terrence Crawford, but it's doable because the way his body's built, it is able to be malleable in that same vein. We brought up Tommy Hearns a lot on this show about how he was able to fight at 140, 147, 154, 160, 168, 175, went up and down weight classes with the greatest of ease because his diet just worked like that. And it was fine. And he would be fluctuating left, right, and center and be healthy every step of the way. Terrence Crawford, we said it was going to be too big of a jump to go up that high to middleweight and then drop back down potentially to 160. Because he had put on muscle. You may be losing muscle coming back down to 160 if he did it in an inopportune time. But we had seen his body could handle the change when he did move up. And because he did it right moving up, if he did it right moving back down, we could see the same thing. It's not everybody doesn't have the same limitations as everybody else. There's some people that they can afford to go this here and there and everywhere without a struggle. There's some that can, and he's one of them. I do believe he's one of them. Now, again, it's still risky now because we still never forget Roy Jones Jr. You cut muscle, you moved up, and then you drop back down, and you're never the same. But the issue was he did it too quickly. He did it too quickly. If Benavidez moves up and then comes back down but does it right, waits let his body naturally, or rather smartly, cut the weight without losing the muscle dexterity. Because this is still within his weight range. Crazy enough, everybody was saying he was too big for 168. 175, the cruiserweight, even though that's a big jump. That's about where everybody was saying for about 5 years. This is where you should be. It's unfair that you're down here at 168. You're a weight bully. We ain't forgetting that. We're not forgetting that was the claim for a lot of people with Benavidez. He's a weight bully. He's too big for this division. He should be fighting up there with the heavyweights just about. I remember all of that. That was the online discourse for a lot of people. And now he's here and it's like, you're pushing too much. No, it's not. This is his range of ability. Because this is his body's malleability. In a good way. No, I think he'll be just fine if he does it right. Let me see. Benavidez not cracking harder than Benavidez. I didn't say he was. When I said relentlessness, Artem Benavidez is a simplistic destroyer. He goes straight through you. It's no antics, no flashy stuff. It's straight up, I'm going to break you up, break you down, and put you to sleep. That's what he is. That's what he does. He's a master at it. Benavidez is just as relentless. It's just with volume and pace. And the concussion of the concussive shots that make for concussive force, that break opponents' faces, swell up, bleeding, all that stuff. I'm not saying he's as strong as Beterbiev, but the relentlessness is the same. That's the mentality. I'm going to end you, and I'm going to push you into a corner. It's the same. The dogged style of I'm a destroyer, it's still the same. That's why I said Bebo's been in this same fire before. Just this is going to be a different type of flame, but it's still the same furnace. But this flame with Benavidez may be too uncontrollable because of all the other skills that we're seeing Benavidez have and add to his arsenal right here, right now. But let me see. Yo, we fight all night. How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in on the show. Salute to you. We're happy that you're here. We appreciate you showing up. Let me see. Hashtag Zuffa. Oh, if you want to talk about Zuffa, we can talk about Zuffa as well. Now we may hold that till the later half of the show, only because that's some more. We got some segments. We got some stuff we do want to discuss, but we do want to talk about Zuffa, and I can address it real quick. Zuffa is going to court. Tony Khan's arguing for Zuffa. Oscar De La Hoya, crazy enough, Oscar De La Hoya, with all the stuff he's been going through, he's arguing against the Ali Revival Act, as well as Nico Ali, Welch, and I think a couple other people. But the war rages off whether or not this act should go or this act should not go. Now, I, for one, don't think this Revival Act is going to be something that's good. Even though it claims it's not going to change anything of the current regime, it's only going to essentially allow for somebody to exit the act and go under the essentially the UFC promotional style that is Zuffa. But what this opens up is a very dangerous window for fighters to get taken advantage of. It does. Because Zuffa, you see it right now, a lot of problems, a lot of the issues, a lot of the concerns, they're starting to bubble up and rise. As with some shady business practices, lying about who they're signing contracts with, like with Conor Ben, with $15 million for one fight, and all of a sudden now it's looking like it was actually a $15 million deal for multiple fights. But to the public, you didn't say that. What you said you were going to be, and what you said you are now, are not the same thing. You look more like a promotional company than a league. Fighters are getting stripped under you left, right, and center. Your belt's not being validated as real, even though it shouldn't be validated as real yet, because you are not the Ali Act that makes that belt real hasn't gone through yet. There's a lot of stuff that's a problem. Dana White is a problem. He is. It is sketchy. And I don't want fighters getting taken advantage of. Yes, you've signed Edgar Berlanga. You've signed Richard the Hitchens. You're working like a promotion, not a league. And what you do with the rest of the fighters, robbing their ability to make their own money, with sponsors, with ring gear, with other apparel that isn't Zuffa, and potentially mitigating their ability to get any outside funds, and you still paying them pennies on the dollar potentially, unless you are a huge name, it's a little bit concerning. But that's what this Ali Act would allow for Zuffa to do. And other potential promoters that are coming down the line. Now, I'm not saying I'm perfect in understanding all of this stuff. But what I can say is this, and again, we're going to quickly delve into this and we're going to move on. I've said this from the jump, and I'm saying this now for everybody to understand. From what I know about this whole situation, there is something that doesn't feel right. And this Ali Act revision is going to do more harm than good. And I hope it doesn't pass through Congress. Because if it does, even allowing the escape allows for the very things that we hate about this sport to get even worse. The very things we hate about the UFC can become the model of discourse as well as disdain for boxers who choose to say, hey, I'm going to go a different way. We want everybody covered under the same protection. Because without it, we got what we get in the 1940s, 30s, 50s. Before the Ali, everybody was getting taken advantage of left, right, and center. People were dying without pennies to their name. Shoot, Joe Frazier died without pennies to his name. Don't, because of some different practice outside of boxing, but even still, that could have been what happened with the money that he made while he was fighting, while he was active. Not when he was later on in his life. We lament Don King for the stuff, the evil stuff he did. We lament the stuff we've seen Oscar De La Hoya do. But without this act, there may be no fighting it at all. Even with a opening to get out from the act, it is too dangerous. So I don't think it should be happening. I don't think it should be happening at all. At least in my opinion. But even still, we got to go back and we still have more stuff to cover on this show. We're going to talk about Zuffa a little bit more as time goes on. We want to make sure that we delve into the rest of the boxing world and more of the talking points of our show, which for one of them needs to be Naoya Inoue. That's right, the monster. As we're getting ready for Nakatani versus Inoue, yes, sir, we are ready and primed and set to have ourselves be a witness to one of the most spectacular and insane fighters of our generation. And again, we are looking to see him potentially beat Nakatani. But beyond just the fight, we got to look at the more fervent reality of Inoue. And that is that we're walking up on not just some of the most pivotal years in his career, but we're also walking up on the same thing that we've seen in the NBA, same thing that we've seen in the NFL, where the prime is getting closer to the end in average terms of what the human body is able to do for the average person in this sport. And the question is, how long is this prime going to last? That's the truth. I'm serious. It's a valid question because we have more fights coming. We have the propensity to see a bigger slew of fights down the line. Not bigger, but as big of fights. Espinoza, Angelo Lee, Figueroa, the undisputed at 126, everybody up there. You could see a rematch with Stephen Fulton. You could see Ben Rodriguez directly after. There's a cacophony of fights that we can see delve in or be delved into by the likes of Inoue. But how long is this prime going to last? Where the best of Inoue will be the best of Inoue. Because with everybody we've seen a decline. And we've seen a shift in their ability to have to go and fight and curtail their style, either by a little or by much. And the best years, the best highlight film, the streak, the 2018 bronze, The 92, 93 Jordan, the '05 Kobe Bryants, that type of stuff. The 1964 Wilt Chamberlain, when he averaged like 100 points a game, 50 rebounds and 100 points a game, was an average, and he didn't even win MVP. But that's the best Wilt we had ever seen. Those types of players, Hakeem Olajuwon. Again, I'm using multiple teams. But Hakeem Olajuwon, I believe, was 94, 95? Or maybe 92, 93. In the 90s, when Hakeem won Defensive Player of the Year, MVP, Finals MVP, All-Star selection, and swept every single award, as well as NBA champion. There's certain people that there is a moment we have to realize this is the best it's ever going to get. Are we at that point in time with Inoue? And if so, how long is this prime going to be? And if you're looking at the way his tape is looking, if you've seen him train, and if you've seen him working, hey, though I may be remiss to say that I know everything, because Lord knows I don't, this may just say he may be able to do the same stuff that we saw Terrence Crawford do, which is even in his later years, still, the Bullets able to look effective. If you don't believe me, let me show you the fit. If you don't believe me, let me show you the footage right over here. Like that, I'm sorry. That's some of the best technical work I've seen. And everything is still pinpoint. And mind you, he's 33. We've seen fighters at this point in time on the decline, especially over throughout the years in boxing history. There's been a time where if you at this age, sometimes stuff starts to linger and wane. Stuff starts to go kind of down the road. Not saying it's for everybody, but we start to see a little bit of a dip. AJ at 34, 35 years old, started to see a dip. Fury, same thing, even though he's still looking phenomenal. We got people to find the odds, but it ain't everybody. And with the likes of Inoue, we could be seeing him do what we see with Terrence Crawford. Well, he's able to go and be greater for longer than what the normal prime should allow. And if that's the case, brother, we can see a scary career as it unfolds. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. A long time he's constant. A long time he's constant. He's the best boxer in the world. I believe so. Now, other people may not believe that. Now, I believe that we should see that Inoue is the best fighter in the world. I think it's a fair assessment to say that Inoue is the best fighter in the land right now. I would say that's fine to go and admit. For some it ain't. For me it is. Hey, you don't have to agree. Everybody's pound for pound is a little bit different. Everybody's pound for pound may change. But for me, there is not a better complete fighter in every aspect of this sport than this man right here. And again, he's coming up on the ends of what is normally the careers, the out of the prime years for most fighters. 33, 34, that's about the last two, and then you're gone. But he's looking like this, just about as sharp as he was at 28, 29. Again, the only person I've seen this have this same type of capacity with was Terrence Crawford, who is one of the 10 best fighters we've ever seen in boxing history. So, I don't think his prime, even though he said it's going to end when he gets to cruise, or when he get, not, good gosh. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Not cruising. Wait a minute. Hold on. Not cruiserweight. Good gosh. Hold on. I need to put on my voice for this. Not cruiserweight. If Inoue got a cruiserweight and was able to be successful, yeah, we're talking about that's the greatest fighter ever. But in all seriousness, again, taking off the voice effects, Inoue and his ability, I think he will be able to stick around till he's about 37. Truly, I do. Even if he says his career is going to end when he gets to 126. And if he finds out that reality is real, but we could finally see them go to 130 after he gets undisputed. We could. 130 and 135. You got Oshaki Foster. You got Neverete. We could see that take place. Not saying it's reality, but it's a possibility. Because I think his body can go and take that type of gravity. But let me keep on reading what you all had to say. Nakatani getting slapped. Yeah, I think so. But he's looking sharper than nobody. Like I said, if you haven't seen how Nakatani's been looking, that butt is also looking like a killer. I'm serious. Here, look, I got the clip set up. Go look at exactly how Nakatani's been moving as he pressed with his fight. Because he's been looking just as, or at least as much as prepared as we ever seen him in his entire career. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Wait a minute. There we go. And I'm telling you, the reason why I'm so excited for this fight. We're gonna be talking about this up until next week. Up until next Saturday, we're gonna be talking about this fight about every day. But the reason why I'm so excited about this is because both fighters are training in a way that isn't just to go and counteract the other. But you can tell the refinement that both of them have taken is immaculate for both of these guys. You can say one's better than the other. There's no wasted movement in the shots. The tail of what they're trying to throw isn't really there. They're going over, even in small things, every reaction necessary of what can happen when they throw said punches or said combinations. It's a zip. It's a crack. It's a snap for each of them. You saw Inoue, every time he punched, brought up that guard immediately. Nakatani already throwing that 3-punch combination. Throw out the jab, anticipate Inoue's counter, boom. The left straight's already coming. And then followed up with that hook right after. Quick and in easy fluidity. Because you have to be that smooth if you want to catch Inoue. And Inoue's got to be that sharp with his hooks if he wants to put out the likes of Nakatani. It's a great thing. Now, I will say this. The one thing, somebody brought this up on social media, and the one thing I said about this was, don't let the Hernandez fight fool you when it came to what Nakatani's going to be like in this fight with Inoue. Because it's still going to be close, because Hernandez is just a tank. He can just take that punch and keep on working. Nakatani still won that fight. You know, even though I said it could have been a draw, and it could have been a draw. Really could have been a draw. But if he did enough to be like, okay, yeah, I get why he got the nod. A lot of people felt he lost that fight. But either way, I was trying to tell you all, don't let that fool you. This buddy's still a killer. And the reason being, it's because he got every tool in his arsenal to take out Inoue. But I do think somebody who brought this up on social media is right. Nakatani may be weak to the body. Not weak as in Usyk weak, one touch and he's already up. You can see the visceral reaction. But he's weak enough that if he gets put in a situation Where the same way that he's able to land sneaky shots on the inside when an opponent tries to go and punch him, like he did against Jason Maloney, if Inoue starts laying those same shots on Nakatani downstairs, because Inoue's an incredible body puncher. If Nakatani cannot adapt, he might just go down. Or at least he just might get trained. That's the scary thing. If Nakatani can draw Inoue into a counter, absolutely knock him out with the left street. But Inoue can train Nakatani with the damage downstairs on the inside so that he gets in the bite. He gets in the bite. He gets him to hesitate because that power landed one too many times. And now, when you need to defend the head, you've been tagged downstairs too much. Too many shots that have been snuck under the guard. Too many countering windows that you've had to absorb because both of y'all are either trading or Inoue slips and lands on you. Too much time on the ropes where you had to go into a dogfight and fight your way out. You did it, but the damage you took downstairs still lingers. And then by round 7, it starts to feel a little bit more heavy. And now you start to, you see what I'm saying? You start to faint. You start to commit. And it only takes a little bit for Inoue to didn't come through and put you out. Because now, just like with Stephen Fulton, he trained him with that jab to the body. He trained him with that long stab jab downstairs. And when he did, got him. Round 8, got him. That same thing, because of that speed of Inoue, that same thing can happen. When Inoue fights against Nakatani, same thing. It can happen, I'm telling you. It can happen quick and in a hurry. Let me see. Nakatani's distance, or Nakatani likes his distance, is like a whiplash coming at you from afar, but that ain't gonna work though. Nakatani hates that inside work. He's a fighter who, he's a marksman. He can be a voluminous marksman, but he's a marksman nonetheless. That long range, mid range area where he's able to punch, be safe, and then on his own terms commit to going on the inside. That's what he wants to do. But that's the game that he can't play because it's not going to be on his terms for when and how the punishment is going to incur on one end of the spectrum or the other. This ain't because Nakatani ain't great. It's because the way Inoue fights, he encompasses the whole of the fight. He does. We talked about this way early on this channel. He's got conqueror's hockey. He's got that conqueror spirit. When he walks in the ring, the entire ring dictates to what his pace wants to be. And if you don't have enough willpower to stand up to said essentially hockey-esque aura, again, using One Piece, love that show, you fall flat without even getting touched. Why? Because you shrink. Paul Butler shrunk when he faced off against it. Ji Jun Kim, he acted brave, but he shrunk. Stephen Fulton shrunk when he fought against Inoue. It's been a consistent thing. TJ Haney shrunk when he fought against Inoue because the willpower when dealing with this man, no matter what you may say when walking in, it's not the same. It's not the same. Let me see. Burr, this might be Inoue Picasso too. I see the now I see the comparison. I see the comparison. I do see the comparison. However, I don't think it's going to be Inoue Picasso too, because Picasso didn't have the same ability to be able to work on or in that mid-range area like Nakatani. If he did, that fight might have been a little bit more competitive. He was outclassed in every range by Inoue, even though he held his own now. He held his own. But he's not nearly as well versed as Nakatani. Not nearly as deep of a bag offensively. He's a big dude. He's a tough butter. He really is a good fighter. What was it? The butter was what, 32-1? Just about. He was not an easy feat. He may have been ranked 10th in the division at that point in time, but he was not a pushover. He can fight. He can fight. He just got outclassed. But I don't think it's going to. Now, in terms of one-sided performances, I don't think it's going to be that lopsided. But I do think the similar makeup of what can be open for Inoue can be similar to what we saw with Picasso. Some of the same shot placement, some of the same countering opportunities, some of the same beats in that fight could also be what we see in the Nakatani fight. It's just the fact that Nakatani's going to be way more offensive. Nakatani's going to be way more open to take a chance.
Hey, we got some problems here.
He is.
We got some problems here.
He's going to be way more fervent to match what we see Inoue do, most likely, than what we saw with Picasso do. Not saying Picasso didn't fight, but in terms of you saw at some point in time, the offense of Inoue started to quell and stifle the willingness to throw that we saw with Picasso. I don't think it's going to happen with Nakatani. Because Inoue and Nakatani, they're cut from that cloth of if we go down, we go down. So be it. A lot of the Japanese fighters is that type of thing. But I don't care how hurt I am. We're going to go for broke. I'm not saying Picasso quit. He didn't quit. But there was a point in time after round 7 when you saw Picasso kind of that realization of what he's in with and what he was throwing in that situation of realization. Okay, yeah, he knows there's no real chance and he's not phoning it in. There's a little bit of a regression, willingly. It's not going to be like that with Nakatani. Danger at all times up until round 12 because he's going to throw up until round 12 if he has the power. But some of the same beats of the fight with Picasso, I can see happen with Nakatani. I can see it. I can never see it. Let me see. 33-0-15. 33-0 with 15 knockouts. He wasn't that bad. Yeah, no, he wasn't. He wasn't. Anyway, excuse me. I thought he had a loss on his record before. In a way, my apologies. 33-0 with 15 KOs. Yeah, the brother could fight. He could really fight, and he was built like Nakatani in this division. So he can scrap. That's why I push back on anybody who tries to say that Inoue hasn't fought a bunch of people. Because even people that are not in the top 5 that he's fought, it's still people that legit are doing work in this division. Like there's a lot of people. Picasso will get people like Marlon Tapales a lot of trouble. Picasso, with his ability to box at range, could give somebody like Louis Neary some real trouble. He could. I think he will lose to Akhmadaliev, but I think he would give Akhmadaliev a really good fight. There's a lot of people here within this sect that he'll be able to go, yeah, he could beat him. He could. Let me see. Johnny Blaze. Where is it? Okay, there we go. Johnny Blaze, Inoue versus Neary was a classic. It was. Like, it really was. And the Neary himself is still an incredible power puncher, even now. But at that point in time, that man had a reputation and was feared. And he put him to sleep. And it showed the biggest, it showed the full, for the first time since we saw Inoue versus Donaire. Louis Neary was the fight that showed the full breadth of what Inoue is as a boxer. With adversity, with technical proficiency, with speed and power, as well as with his IQ and adaptability. It's outside of that fight with Nonito Donaire. Louis Neary showed one of the fullest breadths of Inoue's capabilities. You could argue even more so than what we saw with Stephen Fulton, even though Stephen Fulton is the best performance he's had since that fight with Nonito Donaire. But the showcase of what he is, that fight with Louis Neary, that's the best showcase of what Inoue is. Because it showed everything. Same thing with Cardenas. It showed everything about why Inoue is what he is. From the damage to the ability to take a punch on the chin, to get up when he's knocked down, to go through and then stay calm under pressure, to go and still take away that weapon after it works on him and turn it into his own weapon to counter you. Those types of adversity fights show everything. That's why Ali versus Frazier was a fight. It's so known because it wasn't just it wasn't just the three greatest fights we had seen in boxing ever, or three of some of the greatest fights we had ever seen in boxing ever between him and Frazier, but it also showed the fullest capabilities of both fighters in every facet of their war. It wasn't clean cut. It wasn't just you couldn't touch me at all. It was at the brink of death, what can you do? When danger is at your very doorstep, how do you respond? And he was able to do it. He was able to do it. And it's insane. It's ridiculous. It's preposterous to think about. But in all reality, it's real. And again, we're about to move on. But the last thing, this is why this fight with Nakatani, it's so important, because it can show that very level again of the full breadth of both Nakatani and Inoue. It can show for both. It can show the full breadth of capabilities and the biggest showcase of what makes them great, not just because of their perfection, but their imperfections that will get put on display in this fight. It's going to show you everything that makes these people one of a kind, and some of the best in the world, and some of the best in the land, straight up. And I can't wait to see it. My goodness, I'm so excited. Also, wait a minute, hold on now. Oh, wait, is that money I see? Is that revenue on the table? Hold on, where's it? All right, is this alms to the empire that we see? Matt Borgerson, thank you so much. Congratulations. I wasn't going to say congratulations, but we appreciate you tuning into the show. Salute to you. So happy that you're here, and welcome. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Yes, sir. We got paid today. We appreciate your alms to the empire. We're happy that you're back on the show. And we want to hear what you got to say. Devin Haney, whoa, wait a minute. Oh, he what? I'm sorry, excuse me. He did what? What is it? Did that? Again, Matt Borges, thank you for tuning in. I'm so happy that you came through. Is this real? Oh my gosh, is this real? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. I'm so excited. My computer freezing. Hold on 1 minute. Is this real? Devin Haney signed with Zuffa? Is this serious? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We're going to research this live. We're going to research this live right now. Wait a minute. Matt, again, if you just broke the news, thank you so much. My gosh, this is insane. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. We switching cameras now. Wait a minute. Wait a second. Hold up. Is this real? Is this for real? Is this real? I'm looking. Hold on a second. All right, nothing yet. Let me see. We checking. We're checking Twitter first just to see if anything has popped off immediately. Because sometimes this thing they be promotion Oh, wait a minute. Wait a second. Is this two-tone superstar Devin Haney to Zuffa? When's the announcement? Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Wait a minute. We're doing some live research right now. This is the first I've heard of it. If this is real, signed with Zuffa Boxing. Is this real? Oh, Sports Illustrated Timothy Bradley predicts next big Zuffa signing after after Ben Hitchens and Berlanga. Is this real? Hold on, yeah, I'm about to say. I'm trying to see. We're fact checking to make sure this is real. Again, Matt, I've seen you on other platforms. Absolutely. Again, you're a very you've actually been able to break some news for other channels. I've seen it. I've seen it live. It's been dope. I value your opinion. I'm just trying to make sure this is real. If this is real, like this is huge. This is the biggest signing that we have ever seen for the likes of Zuffa. This would be the magnum opus, or one of the magnum opus. If it's not, though, is it a rumor that's getting ready to be validated by the public eye? That's the question. I need to figure this out. Somebody help me out if you can, as I'm still searching. Let me see. Inoue has it all, like I know, or like I like how he knows he's the best, and that's what makes him consistent. That's what makes him constant. He proves it with his fights. Two-time undisputed and is a knockout artist. Yeah, he's pound number one. I agree. Johnny Blaze, I don't see that anywhere. Let me see. That's cap. Haney ain't that dumb. Look. As I'm talking, we'll keep on researching. Be clear, and I know the stream's stuttering a little bit. I do apologize for that. I'm trying to make sure everything's running smoothly. And so we're doing a little bit of adjustments on the live. But if this is real, this is huge. If it's not real, and it's something that can come down the line, I have a question similar to Burt. Why would that be the case for me? Again, we can still delve into Zuffa, and in fact, this even goes into the other topics that we've had when it comes to Devin Haney, and that is Devin Haney training with a new mentor, Devin Haney working as he prepares for his next fight at 147, and I'll play the clip. I'll get the clip ready as we're talking, but this kind of bleeds into that same topic. Devin Haney right now is in a position where he is capable of reaching the heights of stardom that he feels that he deserves, though he's already a big name. The Ryan Garcia fight is swirling around, is on the table. He's running the division at 147. At this very point in time, per his own social media, he's training with people like one of the greatest, essentially technical aficionados that we've ever seen in this sport's history, who took on the likes of Roy Jones Jr. and was able to be one of the pound for pound best fighters in the world for I think over a decade, just about. And that's one. If I can find it, if I can find the clip. But it's spoiler alert. It's James Toney. Let's be good. Spoiler alert. It's James Toney that he's working with, and so he's putting himself in position to not just be insanely great, but also to reach potentially the pinnacle of some of the best attributes of his career, from the perspective of him fighting in a way that may just encapsulate everything that we wanted to see from Devin Haney for years and years now, especially with the added level of power. But with all of that in front of him, he would be remiss to go and sign with Zuffa, in my opinion. Why? Because Zuffa would underpay him. Or if they did overpay him, he may have to give up the very belts that he has. He may have to. They can overpay Devin Haney and still The current belts that Devin Haney holds, he may have to relinquish. Just like we saw with Jai Apatai, just like we saw with Richardson Hitchens, and most likely just like we're going to have to see from any other champion that goes and fights with Zuffa. Like you're giving up some potential real leverage. Potentially. And if you are Devin Haney, even though you do bring that star power, other promoters, may just not want to work with you. They may just freeze you out. We've seen people freeze out other fighters before simply because they're across the street. We've heard that story one time way too many, but it exists. It does exist because it's real. I don't think Devin Haney at this point in time would want to potentially rein in himself as a fighter with him signing with Zuffa, because it to me it just seems I just couldn't see it. I just couldn't see that be a thing that could happen. But let me keep on reading what you all got to say real quick. Matt Borges, it's a one fight deal. They will announce. Okay, so it's something that's happening. Okay, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. So that gives some better insight. So this is something that's going to be announced soon, but it hasn't been announced yet. Okay, if that's the case, we'll put a pin in it and we'll wait to see if it happens. I can't speculate whether it will or won't. I may have my doubts, but we'll see. We've had news break on this show before, so if you right, you right, and I will give you all the props that you deserve. Question is, who is he going to fight? That is a great question. He doesn't have a good promoter. How does that sound like, Cap? Let me see. It's heavy rumors, but it'll be announced this weekend, I reckon. If it gets announced this weekend, very interesting. Now, the question is, who is he going to fight? That's a big question. Who is he going to fight? Because I forget. I can't remember. Is Ryan Garcia still under Oscar De La Hoya, or is he under his own promoter? Or is he under a new promoter? I can't remember when their deal ends. I thought it ended in their last fight. But regardless of which, could he make a fight with Ryan Garcia for Ryan Garcia's WBC title? Could he? To unify? Rolly Romero, I believe he signed with Top Rank. Would Top Rank want to work with Rolly to fight Devin Haney at all? Al Heyman and anybody over at the PBC, would they want to do it? I'm scared that signing with Zuffa may just put him off from getting some of the other big fights. That's my concern. I'm not saying it's real, but it's just a concern to think about. But I'm still reading you all's chat to see how this thing is actually going down. Random question: how do you see Resendez versus Munguia going? Shoot. I want it. No, you know what? I'm gonna pick Resendez. Well, no. I take it back. I'm picking Munguia. For that fight. I'm picking Munguia. Johnny Blaze. I'm picking Munguia to win that fight because Resendez, his fight with Caleb Plant, beat him, walked him down, broke him down, all that stuff. Was able to go through and even land counter shots, hurt him. Again, one of the best performances of his career thus far. Biggest win of his career at this point in time. Get it, absolutely. Munguia, though, I think the pressure of Munguia, though they both are come forward fighters, that might be the thing. Resendez is a sharper puncher. Not in like power, but in terms of like technique. He can get his shot to Munguia in a better line because Munguia sometimes loops around his punches. That's one of the biggest reasons why Resendez was able to land on Caleb Plant the way that he was, because he was punching pretty sharp. So that's a good fight. You know what? I'm gonna make my pick. Forget Munguia. I flip-flopped twice. I'm gonna pick Resendez to win I think it's going to be close. So I'm going to pick him by a split decision. I think it's gonna be close, but I'm gonna pick him by split decision. Now, when that fight happens, if I'm wrong, hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just giving you my best possible, my best possible outcome. But let me see. Also, we got paid again. Hold on, Matt. Thank you. Hold on, Matt. Thank you for the $5 super chat on the day. We appreciate it so much on our show. Again, if anybody else wants to give, hey, we can turn this into a bottle popping service. Everybody can go and out give each other, if you so choose, show you who's a big boss right here on this show within the community. But we appreciate it. Matt Borgerson, thank you so much for the super chats and for the arms to the Empire. Let me read what you have to say on the day, and so we can see exactly how your sentiments are. Devin Haney has signed a 1-2 fight deals with promoter, or Devin Haney excuse me, I'm sorry. Let me read this properly. Devin Haney has signed 1-2 fight deals with promoters all of the time. That's true. At the moment, this is a 1 or 2 fight deal that will protect his title. It's smart. And then you say he will not get stripped. He will not get his title stripped. I hope not either. And let me see, Jai signed a multi-fight deal with Zuffa though. Yeah, and so this is the dilemma for many, at least for me. Devin signing a 1 or 2 fight deal does make sense. That does track. I get that. He will sign to go and make sure he keeps his stuff. Let's be completely honest. Leverage does play a factor in terms of your star power into what you can and cannot do in the sport of boxing. I can say that definitively. And because of that, he may have enough star power that the belts that he holds, they'll be forced to have to work with him because it's Devin Haney. Many people may not like Devin Haney. Many people may say that they don't want to see Devin Haney fight. Doesn't matter. He's one of the most notable names in this sport right now. And that type of leverage, especially what he did against Brian Omer Jr., has everybody saying, hey, he is valid. And we want to stay with him as a commission, belt commission. Again, this speculation now. Be clear, speculation. I'm simply giving my thoughts and opinions. Everything I'm saying is to the best of my knowledge. Everything you can also research to make your own claims. I'm just giving you my point of view. So don't act like I'm not trying to act like I know everything. Like I'm an insider. I'm giving you the best of my ability. How I'm thinking through this whole thing. So it may just work out. It may just work out. At the flip side, though, the concern for Devin Haney signing, if this deal is right, is still there because they're bigger stars than Devin Haney. I get it. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Devin Haney is a bigger star than Richardson, Hitchens, Jai Apatai. I get that completely. But Jai was the biggest star notoriety-wise at cruiserweight. And still, with the most exciting fighter in that division, the IBF said we don't want nothing to do with Zuffa. It's not the deal that I'm concerned about. It's the promotion. That's my concern. It's not the deal. It's the promotion. Will the promotion hinder Devin Haney's ability to keep that star power leverage of I can sign with you and keep my belt and make it so that I can still be champion while I'm fighting under Zuffa? Because right now, that's the biggest penalty with Zuffa. If you're associated with Zuffa and you got a belt, guess what? We're going to make life hard for you. Because that's been it's early, but that's been the track record. If Devin Haney is going to be a big enough star to buck that trend, we're going to find out. But if he's not, he could be putting himself into a hole. Potentially. But let me see. Also, Matt, hold on. Hold on, wait a minute. Butler, this is insane. I appreciate the host to the invite again. Another $5 super chat in the show on today. We appreciate it so much. You're too kind, my brother. You're too kind. Like I said, if you could give to anybody else in the world, we appreciate that you gave to us. It means the world to me. I value it oh so immensely. That's what, $15? Oh, we are the $12. We rolling it down, baby. Oh, we start this. We middle of the week. We going strong. This is the best Thursday we can make. I love it. Keep it coming. Absolutely. But let me keep on reading your thoughts and opinions on the show. So we can make sure we can make sure we still keep this thing going. People are sitting here thinking I'm lying. Just wait till next week. Like I said, Devin Haney isn't a Conor Ben. It's probably a one fight deal. And you're right. You're right. You're right. And be clear. Be clear. And also, you know, if this, we can question the sources, we can keep on validating. Like I said, anything that we have here, look it up for yourself. If it gets announced, Borg can send you right on the money. I'm not going to be the one to detract because we've had the same situation before with David Benavidez. So we're going to take it with a grain of salt, but we will keep an eye on it. And if it does happen, you called it right on the money. But here's what we have to understand. This is bigger than just the deal. It's bigger. Let's talk boxing. This is bigger than just him signing. If Devin Haney is able to keep his belt and sign with Zuffa, and everything works out to where he's able to walk in and walk out of his contract as a champion, that changes the landscape for the entirety of what Zuffa can be. It changes everything. It changes everything. It changes everything. It changes the whole conversation. If Devin Haney can walk into Zuffa, sign a contract, be champion, and if he wins, reign as champion, and walk out, it changes everything that Dana White can do and that Zuffa can be in this day and age of boxing. Because all of a sudden, if he's able to hold, hypothetically, the Zuffa belt and his belt and the ring belt all under his domain, it will put those belts and the Zuffa belt potentially on the same level in the eyes of a lot of people. So, all of a sudden, Zuffa gets credibility it's been looking for beyond just the titles, or beyond just the name and the signing. Now, their belt or their organization has legitimacy. Because one of the best 10 fighters in the world is walking around with all the gold and our gold held in the same esteem. If that happens, that's a major shakeup. That's a huge shakeup. For everything we've been saying about how the commissions and the belts are working right now, ostracizing fighters and all, like this could legitimately be absolutely major. It could be major. Let me see. It's going to be announced. It's a strong soon to be confirmed rumor. If we see it, great. I'm here for it. I'm not shutting down anything. I'm simply saying, at this point in time, I can't find anything. But if it does happen, you broke it first. And there's big implications if this does in fact take place. So we're going to see if it actually pans out by the time next week comes around. He doesn't need a promoter. Dad isn't going to pay for his fights. Yeah, what? So, like, his dad promotes him. But the promoters like the promoters like Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, they're the ones that actually, back the money. They're the ones that give out those contracts. So I get it. And if Devin Haney did sign, brother, in fact, hold on a minute. If Devin Haney's if this is true and he does sign, brother, Carter been signed for $15 million. How in the, what the world they gonna pay Devin Haney? What in the world are they gonna pay Devin? I'm dead serious. My gosh, wait a minute. What are they gonna pay this man? How how much is he gonna get potentially for this one fight deal? If Conor Ben for Progress was advertised as one fight $15 million, And if Devin Haney's only doing what is he going to get, 45? Is he going to get, because he's worth more than Devin Haney? Oh, excuse me, he's worth more than Conor Ben. He's worth a whole lot more than Jaya Patai, with all due respect. I mean, he can buy the cattle on a couple hills compared to doggone the value of Richardson Hitchens. No shade to Hitchens, it's just the truth. Hitchens ain't that guy. Hitchens ain't that guy. So how in the world, what are they going to pay this man? But we can see this man get a one fight, $45 million deal. we can all of a sudden see this cat get a. What is he gonna get? Like that's the real question. Cause he ain't taking no chump change. He ain't gonna be ducking smoke, but he ain't gonna be taking no chump change either. Like this could be a huge this could be a huge revelation for the market of what Devin Haney can be. Now, it could also be a similar thing that we saw with Conor Ben. Conor Ben, it was a one-fight deal, but all of a sudden now it's looking like it's a more than just one-fight deal for that $15 million. Okay, because we haven't got the numbers for what this quote-unquote new deal is for Conor Ben. So people are saying it sounds like that $15 million just translating over into actually the whole fight deal is $15 million. That was just one of the three. Which, if that's the case, they lied about the contract. If that's the case, but even still, another conversation. Either way, this is going to be very interesting. Let me see. Haney just needs to pick and choose. That's his job. He's in a lucky position to call the shots. So why he ruined that by being under Zuffa? I mean, unless under Zuffa, he's able to still do what he's been doing. That's the thing. For a lot of the detractions from what I've been able to gather with Zuffa is the fact that Devin Haney, in fact, while I'm talking, I'm gonna change the title. I'm gonna change the title of this segment, because this is turning into a whole new situation. Devin Haney, we might as well signing with Zuffa. Yeah, we gonna keep it like that, because at this point, this has devolved way into a whole different segment, which I have no problem with. I love it. I appreciate. I value all of these conversations. I want this to be a level of discourse and ebb and flow changes. This is what this show is about. We love it. I love it. But there's Devin Haney, if he is signing with Zuffa, if it does happen, everything that we say could be a problem, or the power that he may be giving up, may not be given up for Devin Haney, because it's Devin Haney. And if that does shift, well, then we could see a lot more fighters maybe say, hey, Zuffa ain't looking that bad. Maybe I should come over here. Now, I will say the lack of sponsorships, the lack of outside ability to make money with other people putting their stuff on your shorts, having to have Zuffa only gloves on your apparel instead of the gloves that you may want to have as your main bread and butter. Depending on how the dress code for Zuffa is, which is, as we've seen, is incredibly uniform. We've seen it as well with the UFC. When it used to be you could wear, you had a whole plethora of different options, and then they made everything Reebok or Viper or whatever the world their tenure is, or their current apparel is. And I don't know if he'll be down for that, but it may just be that he's got the power to say, hey, you don't have to wear this stuff. Because you're so big, you can do what you want to do. It could be. Again, I'm trying to look at this from all different angles, because there's so many different, there's just so many different ways this can go. For real, there's so many different ways that this thing can, that this can snowball into. So it's a lot. But let me see, Matt, if the rumors weren't true, both Devin and his father would have spoken out about it already. Thought about that? They are people that if something ain't right, they are the first to go and kind of blast their opinion. That's true. But at the same breath, we've also seen them talk up stuff or let stuff slide that can be used to their advantage to bolster up things. We've seen other father-son straight-up promotional teams do that as well. So their silence could be, yeah, we got something going on. Or it could be the flip side. Don't even give it the time of day to address it. Because y'all know what we about. We've said what we said and we don't need to say anymore. That could be their opinion. But like I said, it's trying to follow with how they work and follow with what this could be. Again, it could be real. For real, it could be real. Let me see. It's for sure got their ears and they've stayed radio silent. It should be a sign. And I get you. That's an astute observation. I will say that most stuff they've spoke up on, lies and truth, they've spoke up on and give their 2 cents on it. However you feel about what they've said something. And to be silent, maybe something's percolating. I mean, the same thing, we've seen this with Tank and others. When something's about to go down, sometimes people, they go quiet. A lot of fighters, when stuff's getting ready to happen, they go quiet. They go silent. Stuff's getting ready to, we're going to let the rumor mill work. And then we going to come out when we want to and say, this is the deal, when everything is supposed to come out. So their silence on this topic is something that could be a sign. Now, granted, Matt, to be fair, this is the first time I'm hearing about any of this. I'll say that. I'll be the first to say, excuse my skepticism, strictly because this is the first time I've heard any of this. So all this is live. You getting the most live reaction you can get, because this is I'm trying to rationalize everything in real time, because I ain't heard a lick of this up until you came in. Now I'm happy you brought it up, and we're going into it. But this I'm skeptical only because this is coming out of left field. I mean, this is a line drive that hit me in the back of the head. that this may be a real thing. So excuse me if I may be just a little, not cautious, but just asking questions to see if this is something that can track. I'm not calling you a liar. Be clear, I'm not. I'm simply saying we gotta unbiased on this show is our MO. It's been that thing from day one. And we love the speculation. We love the discourse. At the same, but we got to make sure that we do our due diligence. If something may seem a little bit shocking, all got to make sure we cover the bases on if this is real. Why would it be real? At least to make sure we give everybody the most well-rounded ability to see all sides of the field. Because again, it's left field for me. So I'm at a loss in a good way, because I'm like, if this is true, this is incredible. But let me keep on reading what you had to say. Not saying Zuffa is bad, but why touch Zuffa right now if you can't fight for their other sanctioning bodies? And after the Ali Act, they're trying to change. It seems like they're trying to control. They are trying to control. They want to. It sounds like they want to operate outside of the Ali Act so that they can implement the UFC banner or the UFC moniker, like they did with Dana White when he started UFC and what it is right now. So, for boxing at this point in time, the structure of UFC, where it's been for the past, kind of until recently, but for the majority of their time, the best fight, the best. We love that model. But the business side, we don't like with the UFC. At least I don't. I'll say that for me. So there's a dark cloud in that regime. With the Ali Act revision, it would allow for them to fight, I think, outside of that sect of protection so that they can really control the monetary value of what we see in boxing as well as the rankings. Because it will be their own promotion, be able to control their own rankings of who fights who and when. Now, they say they're adhering to what we see with the Ring magazine. That's our pound top 10, and those rankings are going to be our rankings too. Fine. But compromise of interest of maybe that can change on the whim of the owner builds some level of concern. And, of course, the fighter pay. Even for the top guys. It may be, we don't want nobody getting reneged on their ability to make the money they deserve. And again, without the sponsorships and with the specific clothing and all that stuff, it would mean that anybody coming into Zuffa, like with Tank, like with Devin Haney, like with Ryan Garcia, their brands, their models, their sponsors, their apparel, their identity as an individual fighter would be stripped away. I don't like that. The flashy colors and all that stuff, it's not just because it's a boxing thing. It's valuable, both monetarily and for the individual identity and appeal of that boxer to other fans. The chrome hearts. Tank couldn't wear that if he signed with Zuffa. The wool, the sweatpants shorts. It's a bad choice, but Devin Haney couldn't wear that if he weren't signed with Zuffa. Shoes, tassels, all that stuff. Couldn't do it. Specific gloves, Everlast. That Japanese glove maker that makes incredible boxing gloves. I can't remember what his name is. I can't remember what the brand is. But you couldn't wear that. You have to be sticking with straight up what I think is what Rival. I think that'd be the only brand that you could wear, or whatever the world Zuffa has for their gloves. The lack of individuality concerns me as much as the money when it comes to Zuffa. That's why I am wary at this point in time of a big star signing with Dana White and Zuffa. Because it won't be Devin Haney signing with Zuffa. It will be Zuffa signs Devin Haney. There's a difference. Because Zuffa wants to be, they are the brand, and every fighter is under that brand. Not the fighters are the brand, and they are working with promoters. It seems like a subtle thing, but that difference in the wording is the difference in the power dynamic. And I'm not saying it's going to happen with Devin Haney if this is true, but it's a concern because it's been one of the biggest concerns about what Zuffa is trying to be. They want to make everything the UFC. John Jones is John Jones, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest UFC fighters ever. But again, UFC fighters ever. His name is synonymous with the brand. Not the brand is synonymous with him. See what I'm saying? Now, he outgrew the brand. Yes. Conor McGregor outgrew the brand. Absolutely. But the same issue still applies. They want their brand to be the leading force, not the name being the thing to lead the charge. And in boxing, it doesn't work like that. Even for the likes of Devin Haney, it could backfire. Again, I don't want it to. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm not trying to say that Devin Haney is going to be left out in the cold. I'm not saying that at all. Simply drawing concern. That's all. Let me see. Honestly, there could be, hold on. Honestly, there could be a possibility since he's back in Saudi, but I don't think Devin would get that low. I mean, look, low or high, if he takes a chance, he takes a chance. If he does, it's great for Zuffa because it legitimizes them in a way that we have waited to have them have that legitimacy before. Or rather, excuse me, that's a weird way of saying it. It legitimizes them in a way that they have been wanting for a long time. And if he holds their belts with the what belt does he have? What belt does he have right now? Devin Haney. What belt does he have at this point in time? A Devin Haney belt currently. Currently, he holds the WBO. WBO. WBO champion and Zuffa champion. All at the same breath would put Zuffa, their belt, on the same level as other promoters and sanctioning bodies. And it would start the legitimacy of the legacy that Zuffa champions can have. Because then the lineage will be seen as not a farce, but real, because a person that we value as real is now walking around with both of these belts up. It could work great for them. But only time will tell. And if it does happen, perfect. Perfect. Again, who said the WBO would accept? I'm not saying they would. I'm not saying, be clear. I am not saying that the WBO would accept a championship fight with Zuffa as another belt that's on the line. I'm not saying that at all. Be perfectly clear. Hey, be perfectly clear. Let it echo in the world. I am not saying that the WBO or any other body of sanctioning affiliation would let Zuffa be a part of their own belt. Be clear. What I am saying is that Zuffa, if Devin Haney is able to make it so that his stardom, his power, and his name makes the WBO stay with it, well, now we're in a situation where Zuffa is being toted with the same personnel. Like I said, it's an inflection point. It's a huge deal. This is the test for Zuffa. It is the test. The test. This is the very crossroads. This is the it's the turning point. It's the event of the season. This is the climax, or rather the rising action of this story with Zuffa in its existence. This is the most important, if this is true, this is going to be the most important inflection point in Zuffa's existence as an early stage in boxing. It's a fight. It's a fight. This is one of the most pivotal rounds. It's round 4. Rounds 1 through 3, you're getting your feet wet. You're learning the patterns of the opponent. You're understanding the landscape of the fight that you're in at hand. But once you hit round 4, now it's time to turn it up. Change your approach. Adapt to what you've been given and make yourself really plant your feet and make your face known in this fight. Stamp your imprint on how this fight's going to go. If we're going to talk boxing, this is boxing. This is it. It's all a fight. And this is one of the most important rounds right now in the early stage of Zuffa's existence. In the early stage of Zuffa's career. Getting a big star to carry one of the big belts into their performance center and walk out with both Zuffa and the other belt and not have to give it up. That's the biggest thing. If they can make this work, all of a sudden, everything we are on the road to potentially having 5 belts in a division. We are. And if the Ali Act revival does pass, it would then also equate to the other belts in the world of boxing wouldn't be able to be had, because part of the Ali Revival Act is making sure that there's only one champion per division. There's a lot of stuff at play right now. There's a lot of stuff at play. So if you get a champion to hold the belt, like Devin Haney, with that big of a name, and they win and they reign, and because of their star power, the other sanctioning body they can't let him go. They can't just strip him because this belt is too lucrative to fail for them. And now we see the Ali Act go through, and we get Devin Haney holding the Zuffa belt, and now potentially the belt that he has, WBO or otherwise, whatever belt becomes the only champion in the division, maybe the only belt that matters. Well, Zuffa's won. Zuffa's won. If that happens, they won. They did what they wanted to do. They became not just a big player, but a controller of one of the biggest players in the game, like with Devin Haney. And the belt that potentially is the only belt that may matter is under their regime. It's danger. It's danger, and it's exciting because it's volatile. This is new territory right now. It is. Let me see. It's like talking about Keyshawn Davis versus Albright. Why is Keyshawn backtracking? We want Haney versus the best, not some randoms. And we do. And again, like I said, we still got more show. This kind of snowballed into a whole different thing. But it's fine. It's great. We love this. We can touch them on it more with the championship rounds. We're gonna do one last thing. We're gonna do one last thing with the whole Zuffa talk, because it's really good conversation. Keyshawn Davis and Albright with Keyshawn backtracking. We want Keyshawn to fight the best, absolutely, just like we want Devin Haney to fight the best, not some randoms. I think because of the caliber of star Haney is, he would still be able to get names that are respectable. He would. It's saying that Conor Ben reached progress. I think, I'm not saying it's going to be concrete. I think because of who we're talking about. If it was somebody else, you'd be hearing me holding a completely different tune. But because Devin Haney is the fixture of conversation, he changes the dynamic of what is and isn't possible, potentially, due to him being one of the most notable people that this sport has to offer. I'm not saying he's Tank. I'm not saying he's Canelo. He ain't Inoue. He ain't Tyson Fury. He ain't even Anthony Joshua. He ain't none of them. But he's big enough that his movement can buck what we think's gonna happen with the normal good to great level fighters that would sign with Zuffa. And if he's able to buck that trend and cause it to be, he does what we want him to do, or he does what he wants to do. Well, now, whole new ballgame for a lot of other stars. So it's a delicate situation. And so I'm with you. We want big names. We still want the standard to be the standard. We want you fighting people that are worth your time. If you do sign with Zuffa, we don't want you fighting the 15th best belt in the division. 147 is very top heavy. Guess what? We don't want you fighting somebody at the bottom of the barrel. We don't want that. We don't value that. We don't credit that as you walking like a champion. We don't want you pulling a Usyk, fighting Rico Verhoeven. We don't want that. We don't want you fighting Regis Prograis. If you do go about this way, we don't want you fighting Stanionis, Stanalini, Alex Rocha. We don't want none of those names. With all due respect, Abel Ramos, with all due respect, we don't want those. If you do sign, you better still be able to get the Ryan Garcias, the Devin Haneys, the Teofimo Lopez's, even though he's potentially going to be fighting for the 140-pound title, though we said he was going to be coming up to 147. That's a whole other conversation. Either way, those types of caliber, we still want that and nothing else. Because that's what you are. If we don't get that, we're going to call it a problem. We're going to call it a problem. We should call it a problem if it does come down to that thing. Let me see. Not saying who is random, but Keyshawn is backtrack. Oh, no, yeah, I get you. I'm strictly speaking from a broad stroke. Albright ain't a random brother, but he's also not the biggest name. Albright with Keyshawn got history. That's a big fight because of their beef that's been going on for a couple years. Absolutely. Now, but Albright also isn't the biggest of name. If Devin Haney fought an Albright level fighter, people would have a problem. They would. It's not because this isn't disrespect to Albright. It's because just like I said with Tank, the level that Devin Haney's at and who's surrounding him at that level, those should be who he fights, not the people who are good, because they are good, but they're not in that same Venn diagram of who is right in front of you that we want to see. The people would get mad at it. They would. And even though it's Zuffa, it doesn't change that standard for Devin Haney or anybody for that matter. Tank or anybody for that matter. Usyk or anybody for that matter. It doesn't. So that's why I'm saying we're trying to keep it consistent. Or at least I'm trying to keep it consistent the best way I can. We don't want nobody less than the names we were already talking about to fight Devin Haney at 147 or above. Whichever way the wind may blow, we want it working right. We want it working right to the best of our ability. And so we ain't changing that. But and in fact, we might just have the ability to go into the world of the championship rounds. Well, actually, no, we still got some time. We about to go into the championship rounds. But with the actual last thing with Devin Haney, we need to watch. We need to wait. We need to listen and be attentive. I'm not going to jump the gun and say everything is fake or real. Because at this point in time, I'm blindsided like everybody else. I don't know. And I haven't seen anything. But if this does turn out to be true, this is a big deal. This is a huge deal for the sport as a whole, not just for Devin Haney. And the implications go longer than and more widespread than just will Devin Haney get stripped tonight. It speaks to the legitimacy of the Zuffa belt as a whole and Zuffa as an organization. And Dana White's ability to say, I'm here. I'm not no small fish. And he can look potentially Al Heyman, Eddie Hearn, Bob Arum, Frank Warren, Turkey Al Sheik. He can look him in the face and say, I'm as real of a player as you. I'm a threat. Because look at who I got. And look at what he's holding. There's a real inflection point that if this stuff does turn out to be real, there's a whole lot of conversations going to happen. And the potential of after that signing, what happens, this can be the type of shakeup that we've been talking about Zuffa could be. This could be that very shakeup. Or it could crash and burn. and it all be false. But again, we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out absolutely. Let me see. It's the fact that Oscar is going to court to help the Ali Act to protect fighters under Zuffa. Just what? Yeah, no. It's now. I think he's arguing against the Ali Act. Let me make sure I read it right. It's the fact that Oscar is going to court to help the Ali Act to protect fighters under Zuffa. I think I'm reading that right. Yeah, him going to protect the Ali Act with everything we've already seen him do. It's kind of like, oh my. But he's doing the right thing. So is Nico Ali Welch. Nick Khan, who's also, I think, a partner of WWE, is landscaped in with TKO. He's arguing against the Ali Act, or more so arguing for the revival version of said act. And so this is coming at a very interesting time, because there's a lot of things that can go bad or good at the drop of a hat. And there's a lot of layered decisions are getting made on top of each other while we are watching even this Devin Haney situation go down. So like it's delicate. That's the best I can say. But keep an eye out. Don't shoot anything down. Keep an eye out. Have your skepticism. Research. You hear me? Look. Research. I don't care what. If you hear nothing else from me, that's the wrong sound. If you hear nothing else from me, research all of this. Research it all. I'm emphasizing this. I want you to make sure you hear me clearly. Research everything. I am not here just to give my opinions. I'm advocating you in that screen, watching on your phone, at work, at your job, with your boss. I don't care who you talking to or who you around. You find out what you need to find about this stuff to make sure you're on the up and up. Because all the opinions I got is only on what I know. You may learn something more than me, and you may find another situation that's deeper than just what we've been talking about. This is a fight for the heart of boxing. Understand this. It's a fight for the heart of this sport. Whether it's good or bad is yet to be seen. But just know there's a struggle going on. There's some pain and strife. It's a 15-round war going on right now, right under our nose, with two sides of a coin that are going at each other. I mean, tooth and nail, grit and spit, blood everywhere. It's gonna be a battle, ruthless and cutthroat, for the heart of what this sport's gonna be for the foreseeable future. That's not me. That's not fear mongering. That's the reality. That is the reality of our time. We are walking into an inflection point. I'm repeating it because it's necessary. And you need to make sure you understand what everything is adjacent to what I've been saying. Because I could be wrong with some things. But if you do find out, it's the best thing for you, because it will let you see the real perspective as to what's good, what's bad, and what's coming down the line. Because we gonna need to know. Because after this, depending on how this may sway, it's gonna be one of the most important decisions that we see happen in boxing. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. I'm dead serious. I promise you. It's gonna be like that. So find out for yourself to make sure you got yourself as informed as possible. Because forget studying film, brother. We in the war now. We're gonna have to learn on the job. We're gonna have to learn round by round. Because this fight, it ain't gonna stop no time soon. They gonna stop no time soon, I guarantee you. But either way, we still got more to talk about on this show. Like with the likes, cause we are almost at the 2-hour mark actually. We still want to get to championship rounds, so let's go on and make sure that we cover the other stuff in our segment. We covered Inoue, we covered Devin Haney. Let me actually show you the clip that I was supposed to show you with Devin Haney training with the likes of James Toney, and let me give you at least my 30-minute segment or 30-second segment on my reaction to that clip. I was trying to give it to you, but the whole situation of Zuffa kind of threw this show off. Either way, we back on track. Let's go on and give you what we supposed to give you. Hey, Devin Haney training with James Toney. Let me show you why this is important and why it's valuable. If it'll play, will it play? Let's get these settings right so it ain't gonna be choppy. Okay, yeah, that's good. Here you go. Devin Haney working with James Toney. Here's the clip.
Move up. Ooh. Yeah, put hand. Twist it. Camera cut.
And also, excuse the language. I do apologize for have you heard anything? We're trying to be sponsor friendly. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But either way, this is great. I'll give a quick synopsis. This is great. Why is it great? Well, it's great because this is what I've been wanting to see Devin Haney do. Let me see. Burr, he's trying to work on that defense. It's more than the defense. Be clear. It's more. It's more than that. It's more than that. It's more than that.
We got some problems here.
This is important because Devin Haney is working with one of the greatest pocket fighters we've seen in boxing history. Working with the Hall of Famer like James Toney. With what he's already been able to do. The biggest thing about it is we call him a runner. Or people call him a runner. He's a brother who doesn't want to engage in the same way that we've seen with other fighters. And we've now seen he's got some power at 147, yet he's still fighting in a way that when somebody hits him, he wants to get out of dodge. He wants to move. He wants to leave. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. My thing got bumped down. Let me say that again. This is important. This clip right here is important for Devin Haney. Because Devin Haney, as a fighter, is now fighting or learning to fight inside the pocket. And with somebody like James Toney, it's perfect because he, as a fighter, didn't want to engage with internal conflict in fighting, even in the mid-range. He's long range where he wants to be. And even though he's got power now, like we saw at 147, when he knocked down Brian Norman and bloodied him up, even though he's got power, the working in the face of danger, especially since Ryan Garcia, hasn't been the MO. It's been clinch, hold, reset, and then back out. But if he's able to work with one of the greatest pocket fighters we've ever seen in James Toney, 74-9, or is he 79-4? One of those two. Heavyweight champion. He's been a middleweight champion. He's fought with the likes of Bernard Hopkins. I think. Did he fight with Bernard Hopkins? No. I'm sorry. Roy Jones Jr. He's fought with the likes of Roy Jones Jr. He's cleaned house. He's worked Iran Barkley, same brother who knocked out Tommy Hearns and beat him 2 times. He's been a killer. This brother's a monster. And the way that he fights can work with Devin Haney. Though we can say he doesn't want to fight like that, this style, that type of confidence, Philly shell in the pocket, but you're working. You're taking every countering opportunity. You're able to not just move, but you can plant your feet and be set and still work like the defensive savant that you are. While applying that level of power that we've seen you garner in this higher weight class, this can be a scary sight for the globe to witness. I promise you. This can be a scary sight. This can be horrific. This can be terrifying. Everybody better look and understand this is not just a fluke type of fight. What you're seeing with this type of training isn't just, oh, he's just trying to get people to come through. He is garnering a new skill set. He's garnering a new identity, hypothetically. He is molding a new framework of option because he only fought one way: back foot, jabbing, keeping you at distance. But if he can be able to fight like this, similar to what we see with Shakur. See, that's the thing. See, Shakur fights like James Toney in a lot of ways. He does. Oh, you think I'm playing? Go watch Shakur fight, especially against William Cepeda. Go watch Shakur fight against the likes of Tio in his last fight. Go watch Shakur fight when he fought against Haratunian. And go watch him fight against the likes of Yoshino. And go watch James Toney. It's not one-to-one at all. James Toney a whole lot more powerful, a whole lot more violent, absolutely. But the semblance of when you're in this close range like you see right here, that mid to close range area, and without having to shuffle your feet, slip, react, block, counter, decimate, and detonate on the opponent's mistakes without having to back up, they share a lot of similarities. When Shakur wants to sit down like that, they share a lot of similarities. Devin Haney applying that to his game with his physical capabilities, it can be a damaging sentiment. It can be dangerous for everybody involved at 147 and potentially beyond if he chooses to go up. But this man right here, you see this? You see this? Where is it? Where is it? This face? This face? This face right here is the face of a warrior. The buddy is the same. This is the same buddy who played Joe Frazier in the movie Ali, I believe, with Will Smith. But this brother, them eyes, it ain't just eyes for slipping, ducking, and moving. There's a killer behind them eyes. And if Devin Haney can get those same eyes, he can plant his feet in a similar way. He ain't gonna fight like James Toney. There's barely anybody that can fight like James Toney. But he can take what James Toney did and apply that to his game because he definitely has a skill set to do it. And if he does, he becomes even more destructive. He becomes a force that we never thought would be possible for the likes of James Toney, which is a real destructive weapon. He really does. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Johnny Blaze, Devin knows his inside fighting is trash. Yeah. And I hope he takes what James Toney's giving him to heart and he works on it. Because it can be seriously a dangerous weapon if he's able to just be confident in, yeah, right here, I'm fine. That's the, you see, and again, quick side note, as we actually did, this is actually a great opportunity to delve into the world of the championship rounds real quick on our show. This is actually a great point of opportunity to delve into the championship rounds real quick because we can actually go through it and switch up right now. So ladies and gentlemen, we here now. Hey, fasten your seatbelts. We're in the championship rounds. We at the 2-hour mark. We got 30 minutes to an hour to see what you all got to say in boxing and beyond. So hey, it's time to work and it's time to step into the ring. Oh yeah, let's work. Come on. It's time to shine. It's time to get it started. It's time to get stuff popping, and it's time for the championship rounds of the boxing world. Let's get it going. Yes, sir. Now, with that being said, we're going to use this to do a quick segue. And what was I about to say? Oh, yeah. There ain't any fighting like this with James Toney. Can be great. He needs to be that killer. If he can't be that killer, he can get a lot more knockouts. If he can't be that killer that sits down and is confident, he can be what we've seen with others that make great careers. You're calm under pressure. And that's been the thing Devin Haney is not. When it comes to the world of infighting, He's not calm under pressure. But if he can become calm under pressure, like we see with him training with James Toney, and you don't panic when you get touched with something, now all of that ability can become a destructive force. And you are able to operate where you can do what you want to do still and impose your will without being panicked of what may come my way. If he can get that under his belt, that's a real dangerous sentiment. Absolutely. Let me see. One of the best fighters to ever use the Philly shell. Yes, he is. James Toney is one of them ones. The question is who's winning the rematch between him and Ryan Garcia after seeing this. I mean, at this point in time, like I said, between Ryan and Devin Haney, it's still up in the air. People may still choose Ryan Garcia, and I ain't got no issue with that if they do. But we haven't seen this new frame of mind of Devin Haney in action yet with this James Toney mentorship. Now, if he fights Rolly Romero and we do see that fight happen, we can see whether or not that calm under pressure and that Philly shell plant your feet, be able to be slick and defensive without having to back up to Kingdom Come. If that bodes true, well, Ryan Garcia may have some problems. All of a sudden, that's going to be a dangerous fight. That's a dangerous sentiment. That's a dangerous fight. That's a danger. That's a real danger. If Devin Haney is able to be calm with and able to see and land shots with the pressure of Ryan Garcia without needing to go through and back up 10 feet. That's one of the things that's one of the things that got him in trouble with Ryan in the first place. Outside of the PED situation, it was the pressure made him panic. With every fight, the pressure makes him panic. He panicked when he fought against Lomachenko. He fought through it, but he was still panicking. He was even saying it on the stool, but I can't get him out of here. I don't know what to do. He figured me out. Y'all remember that? You remember when he fought against Lomachenko? He literally said, he's figured me out. He told that to his dad in the corner on the hot mic. He's got me. It's round 7 or 8. The brother, he got me. He fought through it, but you see the panic still ensued. He panicked against Jose Ramirez. Yes, he didn't get touched. The way he fought was in a panic style. I am scared to get hit with something. He isn't calm under pressure. He can fight insanely well, but that is the biggest thing that will be the downfall of him if he can't get it straight. And James Toney can get it straight, and I hope he does. I really hope he does. Let me see. Also, Vaughn Greenhill, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. We're so happy that you're here joining us on the live today. Thank you for tuning. Also, please leave a like on the video if you haven't already. If you've been enjoying the show, leave a like on the video. Keep on sharing the show. We got Cash App, PayPal links down below in the description, as well as super chats and gifts if you want to support the channel. But please, liking the video and sharing the show is the best thing you can do. Hit the like, smash it, uppercut it, do whatever you gotta do to it, and please keep on watching the show. We appreciate all your support, no question about it. But let me see, did you hear that TNT will be broadcasting fights on their channel? Yes, I did. Ladies and gentlemen, if you did not get to see the news, we have now cable boxing is back on the foray. That's right. We got cable. We got, where's it? Where's my thing? This is World Celebration. We got free TV on the boxing world yet again. Yes, sir. Come on. We back when it comes to watching boxing on a cable network without any extra subscriptions. It's a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Wonder bar is how we feel because we were looking at this for a mighty long time. ESPN put out a box. Fox put out a box. Most CBS put out a box. Then they're now starting to eke their way back in. At least they're trying to. But TNT putting on big time fights like potentially, rumor has it, Abdullah Mason is going to be on one of those fights on TNT. Regular cable, not standard television, not antenna TV, which I hope it was. I wish it was on like ABC or NBC, but even still. Abdullah Mason, rumored to be one of the names that could be on one of those cards, headlining as a prime time, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock type of fight where everybody's able to tune in and be up for free and watch that man work. It could be like that. And if this keeps on going, I think this is going to be successful. Because the biggest thing about boxing has been the inaccessibility. Let's be complete. The biggest thing about boxing has always been the inaccessibility of it all. The struggle of it being able to find the wherewithal. Or rather, to find the fights, find the channels, paying exorbitant amounts of money. This fixes that problem, or at least it helps. And so, this is a beautiful start. And I love it. I want more of it, absolutely. Let me see. Devin is a clinching demon. It's cool though. Hopefully Tony helps his craft. That's the biggest thing. I just want to see him help his craft. Devin Haney's never not going to be Devin Haney. But Devin Haney being able to fight better in a way that is more conducive to him being more exciting and successful. That's what I asked for. James Toney is a perfect person to make that happen. Let me see. I don't like that Haney turned down Rolly fight. Not every fight is going to give you 10 plus million. Sometimes you got to take what's on the table. I mean, and wait, he turned it down? He did turn it down. I'm sorry. He did. He did. I'm sorry. That was a lapse in my judgment. He did turn that down. Now, also, I thought that Rolly Romero was on. No, Rolly was calling for it. He said he was boring, and then he actually called for it, and then Devin Haney said, "Nah, we ain't gonna do that." So now I forget the actual ins and outs, but yeah, I don't like that he walked away. I'm agreeing with you there. I forgot that he did walk away from the negotiation table. That's my fault. That's my misremembering. But you are right. Every fight's not going to be a huge $20, $30 million payday. It ain't. And you still got an obligation. If you still want to be the man, you still got to get the belts. And Rolly still holds one of the belts. I believe he still holds one of the belts. So, unless you're going to fight Ryan Garcia as your next out, and that's why you ain't moving, kind of frustrating that you ain't trying to fight the other people. I don't even know who you're calling out right now at this point. Or who your arrow is pointed at to try to get at to fight. I'm not sure right now. If somebody can enlighten me, I would love to know. But at this point, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure. So it's disheartening to say the least. We want to see an active champion, right? We do. But it's where we at right now, sadly. Now, if he did make an announcement, great. Maybe the announcement will come after we see if he does sign with Zuffa. We may see everything snowball by next week. Who knows? But we'll find out when that time does come. Also, real quick, before we go through, I also had to discuss the world, and we're still in the championship rounds, to be clear. We're still listening to your thoughts and opinions. Still want to see what you all got to say. But we do want to we did want to cover one other thing in this round while we're here. Let me see. He should have made the fight with Rolly. Not gonna lie, it just makes sense. It did make sense. It makes all the sense in the world. It's I said on this channel for my roadmap. Ryan beats Mario Barrios. Ryan doesn't fight again. Devin Haney fights against Rolly. Devin Haney beats Rolly. Ryan and Devin Haney fight each other at the end of the year in November, December. Made all the sense to me. Made all the sense in the world to me. Ryan doesn't risk his title. Devin Haney gets another title. Then they meet at the end of the year for a clash that is going to be one of the two biggest fights in boxing. Period. Nakatani Inoue, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney. Boom. That's the two biggest fights of the year. That's the bar none. Bar none. And it would have been pandemonium. It would have been pandemonium. It would have been absolute pandemonium. And I would have loved it. I would have loved it. But now that's not happening. It's just like we in limbo. And it's a shame. And speaking of which, I forgot. We did get some news. Even though Devin Haney isn't fighting Rolly, we did get some news on who we want to see, on who Ryan wants to fight next. And crazy enough, this Zuffa deal may just work out, and I'll let him show you exactly what he's had to say as he transitioned over in the picture-in-picture. But here's Ryan Garcia's next opponent. He said he wants to fight. As I go through real quick and blow this up. Let me bump this down just a tad. It ain't buffering. There we go.
What happened with Teofimo,
The powers that be didn't want it to happen.
So, like, De La Hoya said Conor Ben probably wasn't going to work because he signed with Zuffa.
We have to see, man.
Come on. I do boxing and MMA.
What about Devin Haney, brother, if that's a possibility?
Devin Haney never wanted it.
He doesn't want the rematch?
He don't want the rematch at all.
No, Ryan.
Let's go.
Let me take a picture. What date are you looking at, brother?
What? August.
Ryan. Hey, Ryan, she wants a picture. Hey, Ryan. Hey, what's up with the fight? Hey, Conor Ben. What's up with that? Oh, yeah. I appreciate it. Hey, what's up with the fight with Conor Ben? I can't wait.
I can't wait, man. It's going to be August, guys.
If it's not Conor, who could it be then, right?
Shit, nobody. I only want. Let's do it. Hey, can we get behind?
Okay, so that was a lot. Be clear. My gosh, hey, look, that was a lot. That was a lot. But in all of that commotion, I believe Ryan was live streaming and had a big crowd. Again, this Ryan Garcia, of course, he's going to have a huge crowd around him. But it's that I played that whole minute clip because I couldn't remember exactly when he was saying the dates of stuff. But it's a lot. But it's still a big star. But he said a lot in that whole clip. Devin Haney doesn't want to fight with him. T.O. and Ryan, the powers that be, aren't making that fight happen, per his own words. And the fight that he wants is with Conor Ben. Quoting, I only want to fight Conor Ben. And he's fighting in August as the goal date. So even though we may not have a goal for Devin Haney as to what's going down, we at least got some news that Ryan Garcia does have a lane of who he's trying to go after. And it looks like it's Conor Ben. Which, for him, I said I don't want him fighting again until he fights Devin Haney because I don't want to risk that rematch going into jeopardy with him losing a title and losing a fight. And then it can't be a unified situation between two of the biggest rivals in boxing right now. But if he does fight anybody, Ryan versus Conor makes all the sense in the world. Hey, I get it. It makes valuable sense. Conor Ben, Ryan Garcia, both of them can talk immensely well. Both of them are speedy, quick twitch, exciting fighters. Ryan Garcia is at 147. Conor Ben is coming to 147, down from 168. Hey, Ryan makes all sense in the world. Go get the buddy who's going to be incredibly small, who just struggled against Regis Prograis. Mind you, he won the fight. He was a better fighter, but it was a lot more gritty than many people expected, with all due respect to Regis Prograis. So again, congratulations on retirement. Great career, multi-time champion. We appreciate your contribution to the sport. Go retire and enjoy your family, absolutely. But that is the question at hand. Why is this fight valuable? Well, it's because it would be a huge endeavor for me if that fight did happen. I'm torn. No, I'm not torn. Put it in the States. I was going to say put it in the UK because Conor Ben just had his biggest win over against Eubanks in Wembley Stadium. Sold out. One of the biggest moments of the year. Last year, you could go, take that thunder for your own, and beat the hometown hero and get a bunch of notoriety overseas. I was going to say that, but much as I think that would be the case, with the vicinity that Ryan Garcia is in with Devin Haney as a fight everybody wants to see, Make that fight in the States. Make it happen in the States. Keep the momentum going here. To even make that fight bigger so that Devin Haney has to come and say, hey, if Ryan feels that he doesn't want to fight, well, make yourself too big to ignore monetarily, even though you're already too big to ignore, and fight in Vegas, fight in Arizona, fight in, Vegas, shoot. Fight California, New York, don't matter where. It'll be big, and it'll sell, and it will get talking for a lot of people. So I'm not mad at it. I don't want it to happen, but I'm not mad at it. Especially with how Ryan Garcia is looking right now. Yeah, he should knock out Conor Ben with ease. He should. I'll be clear. He should knock him out with ease. He should knock out Conor Ben with ease. Because Conor Ben's not carrying that same pop. He ain't. Like I said, he went to war with Regis Progress. Bloodied him up, absolutely, but he ain't knocking people out like he used to. When he was on the eggs, the PEDs, aka the eggs, that he used to be on earlier, when he was knocking everybody flat out like Chris Algieri and others, and looking like the scariest thing since sliced bread. Looking like his dad just gave him all of his power in his fists, and next thing you know, one touch, you're gone, asunder. Looking like Esau Cruz out there. That ain't happening no more. Yeah. Y'all gonna take it, I get it. Makes all sense of the word to me. Let me see. That just seems overwhelming. Oh yeah, no, the streaming is ridiculous. No, it's ridiculous. It's a lot to go through. Now, I will say, Lord willing, I get that level of fame. Hey, Lord willing, with you all helping me out, I get that level of big time persona. Crowds following me everywhere. Everybody screaming my name, wanting to get an autograph, wanting to ask me questions. I want to be with the people. I want to be with y'all. And Lord willing, if y'all can help me, we gonna get there. That's gonna be me. Yes, sir. Yeah, that's gonna be me, baby. Yes, sir. We gonna be all across the globe, sworn by every man of who knows what. Security everywhere. I ain't gonna have security. Cause guess what? Everybody, I cover boxing. I know how to fight. I'm gonna knock everybody. No, I'm kidding. There's weight classes for a reason. And I'm gonna make sure I got heavyweights guarding me. But even still, we want we're gonna be out and about with the people. I bet you that's gonna be us. So get used to it, buddy. Cause it's gonna be in a couple of years. You're gonna see me walking them same streets, going through and getting sworn, and trying to answer questions while getting pushed and shoved everywhere. It's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to be around for y'all or with you all out and about. So it's going to happen. Be clear. It's overwhelming, but boy, that's the life for me. I can't wait for it. But even still, as we go back into the show, because we're still in the championship rounds and we do want to make sure we keep everything on tap. One of the other biggest things about this that we do need to cover before we get out of here, like we see in the thumbnail for the updated thumbnail of this show and title, though people may not want to talk about it, we got to discuss it because it's starting to rev up legitimately. And that's the fact that one heavy-handed puncher in Gervonta Tank Davis is hinting at a return. Oh my, indeed. He's hinting at it coming back. I know people don't like it. People don't want to hear it, but we have to cover it because this is something legitimate. Devin Haney. Not Devin Haney. I'm sorry. Not Devin Haney. Tank Davis is looking like he is legitimately hinting. That's not even legitimately hinting. He's essentially showing up and saying, hey, we ramping up returning. Now, to be clear, we had heard other people do the same thing. Jamal Charlo did it, and then he retired. And then he unretired. And so it could be a very similar situation with this, but it's blowing smoke. Ain't nothing real. Everything's a farce. Absolutely. This could all be just nothing. But this is the third time he's done it in about a month. At least the second time he's done it in about 3 months that he's coming back. So, yes, he's dealing with a bunch of legal stuff. We get it. But it looks like sooner rather than later, sometime this year, might be Esau Cruz or it might be somebody else. This return is coming. Now, the bigger question that we can ask for Friday, and I hate that we have to ask it Friday because it was led in the thumbnail with this show, but Zuffa took over because, again, we love the fans. But we can delve more into it on Friday. But the question is essentially, with Tank, with what we saw when he fought against Lamont Roach, and with him being 32 years old, is there a concern that the talent of Tank may be on the down slope? Could it be? Could that be the case? Could we see that the talent of Tank Davis, with everything that we've seen thus far, still a great fighter, still a phenomenal talent. However, could it be that he may be on the down slope and the prime of Tank could be in jeopardy, even against a former opponent like with Isaac Cruz or Lamont? Because it's been a good chunk of minutes since we've seen him back in the ring. And we've seen when it's outside issues that affect the fighter in this type of capacity, they don't come back the same a lot of times. I'm not saying they won't. I'm saying it hasn't happened. Or rather, it's happened more times than we may want to admit. So it's interesting because again, whether you love him or hate him, I want to see Tank. The public wants to see Tank. Everybody loves Tank in some way, shape, or form. However, we can't deny that there is a concern with everything going on with Tank, that even in this return, everybody's going to get excited. Everybody's going to say, oh my goodness, the Tank is back. Chrome Hearts is about to go and stamp his way through this division once again. It may not be that easy anymore. It may not be the same brother in the same fashion that we've seen. Now, again, speculation, not saying it's real, just so you know. But it's something to keep an eye on. That just like with Inoue, even though I said I think his prime will be longer, his clock's ticking. Usyk's still in his prime, his clock's ticking. Tank is closer to the older era of boxing greats from a people that were running the division than what we see when he was newer, hotter on the scene, and age-wise, fully in his prime. Everybody's petering out, not just the greats that we know, but also the greats that we think have a longer leash. 32 may not seem old, but again, with Tank, especially with the way that he's been talking, good time, not a long time. That's what we could see. That's what we can see. So and again, the rust of life may have taken something away from Tank with everything that's happened outside of the sport. Maybe. Again, food for thought. I'm not saying it's real. Just food for thought. That's all. Simply food for thought to see how you all feel. But let me see. Do you think Schofield is going to get his title shot? Man, I want to say yes, but who knows at this point? At this point, who knows? Butler might get sick again.
Hey, look at this! We got some problems here. We got some problems here.
Butler might get sick again for all we know. If he's healthy for more than 2 fights, I'll say yes. Until then, I don't know. It's up. It's up. It's confusing. It's concerning. It is convoluted. Whether he actually get a shot at a title. He could, again, I would love to see him fight against Abdul Labason for a championship. I would be down for that. I would love to see him fight a Raymond Murataya. I would be down for that. But will he even be available to fight in those fights, even though he's been saying, I deserve big draws. I deserve big time paydays. I deserve events that are worthy of my status as a champion. Until we see him stay right. Yeah, it might be a little bit up in the air. If he is, though, I think he will. Because he still is somebody who the boxing world sees as a real, not just up-and-coming star, but a star to make some money. Because he got some power. He can get a belt, and he can make that belt exciting. But, like I said, between the antics between his dad, the sicknesses that he keeps on getting whenever a big fight does come his way, and just outright positioning. As we know, boxing is fickle with rankings, and people get opportunities and others don't. It may be concerning. It may be a little bit concerning. But let me see. I honestly want to see that fight just so Tank can shut up Kid's dad. I mean, I would love to see it. Be clear. At any of those fights, I'd be down for. Any of them. Any of those fights, I'd be down for. Any one of those fights would be bread and butter. I would love for Tank to fight Schofield. We thought Tank was already going to fight Schofield at some point. At one point, we thought Tank was already going to fight him. It seemed like the stuff was lining up that we would get that fight finally. But no, it didn't happen. And it's like any of those, Abdullah Mason, Floyd Schofield, Remy Murataya, Andy Cruz, all of them I'd love to see. And some more names I ain't even named. Because there's still some more people at 135. It is a good division. Don't forget, O'Shaquie Foster may be up there in a little bit as well. And Manuel Navarrete, he's eking up to 130. 135 could be in his near future also. You got names. You got value. You got tenure. You got ability. And you got a bunch of quality people that we would love to see him fight. Willie, I just don't know. Honestly, he got to pull the trigger. Let me see. We shouldn't be putting Murataya against these little kids. Murataya better than him. Give him Shakur. Oh, he is. He absolutely is. But if we're saying that we want Schofield to get a title shot, Tank is currently still champion. Tank's not going to fight Floyd Schofield. Almost as surely. If we see Tank and Schofield as Shakur as Tank's next fight at 135, I will be shocked. But he ain't going to get that opportunity. Murataya is a champion that's willing to fight others. He wants Shakur, absolutely. But if he can't get Shakur, you better believe he's going to go after the best names down at 135. And right now, some of the most lucrative are Abdullah Mason, who's also the other champion, as well as Floyd Schofield. Both of them. To me, it makes sense. He could fight William Zepeda, but again, Zepeda ain't got a belt. He already beat Andy Cruz. He's better than Jose Valenzuela. That ain't gonna be a real test at all. Now, I will say, Jadir Herrera, that brother, that's a fight.
Hey, look at this. We got some problems here.
Hold on, let me
We got some
let me
problems
tell you
here.
something. Jadir Herrera, that brother against Murataya for a title, you doggone right, that's a quality fight. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That's an insane fight. That's a ridiculous fight. Again, if you don't know Jadir Herrera, 18-0, 16 knockouts. This cat from Cuba has been running amok through 135. If this brother fought Murataya, oh, that's a special fight, my brother, my sisters, anybody out in the world. That's a war. Oh, that's a good fight. If we got that going down, that's a main event. I'll tell you what. That is a main event. If that took place, I mean, good, hot dog, man. Lord have mercy. Good Google and Moogly. That's it. If that fight went down, oh my gosh, that'd be perfect. I would love that. I would love that. I would love that if that took place. My gosh. Let me keep on reading. Let me see. Choo, my bad for putting it that way. But nah, Murataya is good, talented. And I get what you're saying. Schofield right now just isn't ready talent-wise for Murataya. Same thing with Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas, talent-wise, is seen he's not ready for the caliber of talent that Boots is. However, that does not mean that the fight still shouldn't happen because you're in the position to get him. Especially in a sport where you don't get the opportunities oftentimes. You get overlooked, like with Joseph Parker, like with David Benavidez, when you earn your shot. If you can get it early, get it early. Especially once you got 18 fights, 17 fights under your belt. I've said it before. I said it with Ward Jones Jr. After Ward Jones had 14 fights, that's when stuff started picking up. By his 16th fight, it was like, okay, it's time for a belt. Mike Tyson, 19 fights, went through, and then boom, got a title with 22nd and 21st fight? Something along those lines. But those early years are not just for growth. It's for you, especially if you have the system of the sport behind you. It is a fast track to get you something that for some people they never get to sniff. That's an opportunity for a championship. Even if you're young, you may not get it again. You may not get it again. But let me see. Did you see Xander bringing in Tiger Johnson? Once I saw that I already knew Boots was winning the fight. Yeah, I did. I don't think that's going to help him. Tiger Johnson's good. But I don't think that is going to prepare him properly for what Boots is going to bring in the ring. And this is no disrespect to Tiger Johnson. He's a good fighter, absolutely great. He can be a great fighter. It's just the fact that I don't think that's the right partner to mold your psyche for what to expect in this fight. You'll be better off, in my opinion, getting multiple fighters that can fight in different styles rather than using Tiger Johnson as one of the main focal points to emulate what the person in the ring is going to be. Because there's nobody like Boots. See, there are a couple people in the sport of boxing. No matter what you do, you can't replicate. You can't replicate Usyk unless you go fight people that are not heavyweight, as in lightweight. You got to box with them. Because that's the only people that can move in that same vein up to that elite level. Tyson Fury, you can't really train for Tyson Fury because nobody else like him. Benavidez, you can't. Training for Benavidez is incredibly difficult because there's nobody like Benavidez that can do what he does. Inoue, you can't train one guy for Inoue because there's nobody like Inoue. Crawford, same thing. Even though Boots was as close to a similar vein as you could get, Boots still ain't Terrence Crawford. Not saying everybody's going to be 1-to-1, but even that, like, okay, that's the best you got, but even still, it's far off because he's a different beast. There's certain beasts that no matter what you do, you just can't equate. It can't equate. And at this point in time, Boots is one of them. Now, this doesn't mean that Zayas isn't doing the right thing and trying to prep himself. But like you said, there's levels to it. The best way would have been to get multiple partners to spar with you every single round with a different look. Because you're going to have to change that quickly every round when you fight Boots Ennis. It's going to be like that. And I don't think Tiger Johnson's the brother to help you get prepared for that type of monstrous abode. That's going to be a problem, boy. That's going to be a problem. Now, again, Zayas can beat Boots. I don't think he will, but he can. Be clear. This is a one-sided affair on paper. Absolutely. But it does not mean that Boots is just going to win outright. He can lose. It's possible. Absolutely. At 23 years old, I think Zayas may surprise a lot of people with how good he's going to show up. But this preparation specifically, I'm not a fan of. Me personally, I'm not a fan of. Let me see. The good thing about Tiger is that he sparred all types of people. Virgil and Boots, he sparred them both. He might have a little bit of something, but it's not enough. The best thing that Tiger Johnson can give is what he dealt with. Hands-on experience against Boots. What worked against him. Why it worked against him. I don't think he can emulate what happened, but he can at least tell you what happened. That's valuable. Now I will say that's valuable. That is absolutely valuable. If you want to, now I'm going to say this. If Zayas really wanted to see what can get under Boots' skin, he should have talked to Shukajan. He should have talked to Shukajan. That's who we should have talked to. He should have gotten Karin Shukajan in the ring and had him go through and tell him, hey, brother, what you did, you gave this man the hardest fight of his entire career. Twice. You boxed him on the feet, and then you boxed him in or on the inside. You went nose to nose with him, and you fought him on your toes. And you gave him a mighty hard time in both instances. Why did that work? Because it did work. You lost the fight, but it worked. There's never been a performance that has had Boots in more of a tizzy than both of those Shukajan fights. I don't care. Don't let nobody fool you in that matter. I don't care who has what to say about the greatness of Boots Ennis. Don't let anybody shy away or shy you away from the very fact of life that Boots had his toughest test in all of his career going up against Shukajan as the hardest fights of his entire life. No question. That's the brother that we should have seen Zayas go and try to pick up what worked against him. What did you do? How did you fight in the pocket against his brother? What was the tricks that you used to land clean stuff on him? What's his tendencies when he tries to get comfortable? How do you frustrate him? What's his rhythm? What's his tells? That's the brother that could tell you. That's the man that could tell you. I'm upset they didn't go and reach out to him. My gosh, man. Let me see. He should have. That's the blueprint. It is the blueprint. That's absolutely the blueprint. There's no better person, in my estimation, outside of Terrence Crawford himself, to tell you how to beat Boots than Karin. There's none. Roman Villa can't help you. Lima sure enough can't help you with that. Stanionis got walked without any real resistance. David Avanesian landed the same amount of shots as he landed against Terrence Crawford, which was 50, which ain't much. He just landed more flush shots, but he still landed the same amount, but it wasn't a struggle at all still for Boots. That's the man. If somebody better get some, look, hey, Xander, if you ever see, and Lord willing, we got fans out here that got connections. Lord willing, we got people watching that got connections. If you are watching this video, watching this live stream, please keep on liking the stream. But if you're watching this live stream and you got connections to Xander Zayas in any way, shape, or form, send this clip to him. Tell Xander Zayas, call Karin Shukajan today. Call him yesterday. Get that man in your camp for the rest of your time prepping for this fight and have him tell you and walk you through what he did to make Boots work. Because if you get that under your arsenal, not only can you potentially make Boots work harder in this fight, but even after Boots, you can be a better fighter. You can be a better fighter. Simply, Shukujan can teach you things that even beyond Boots Ennis win or lose, he can be a better fighter. And you see, head movement, moving his head. One thing that Xander Zayas, with all due respect, doesn't do nearly as fluidly. Changing your pace, shifting left and right off the ropes and still punching. Punching off rhythm. Letting Boots make the mistakes. And then you capitalize. And that's what Shukujan did. Calm under pressure as well as being dissecting of the volley of combinations, which Shukujan was able to do. Again, he lost the fight. He did lose the fight. But what he performed in showed us, okay, there is a way to frazzle and have success against Boots Ennis. And what he can teach you as to box as a whole, Xander can be a better fighter. For anybody. And good gosh, if we took some of Shukujan's skills and applied it to himself, Zayas would be incredible. Zayas would be phenomenal. He already is. He can be even better. If he takes those things, I'm telling you, he better do it. He better do it. Let me see. Bud beats Boots, believe it or not, just by the fact that Bud played it smarter than how Boots approached. No, he would. That's the most physically equal fight we probably could get with Terrence Crawford and Boots Ennis. And the ceiling of potential is probably as close as you can get. But no, Crawford's a better boxer. Crawford is one of the 10 greatest fighters I've ever seen. Boots is not there yet. Crawford has become his own staple. You don't compare people to Terrence Crawford. Oh, excuse me. You don't compare Terrence Crawford to people. You compare people to Terrence Crawford. That's the type of echelon that we're seeing Crawford in. And he deserves to be in that type of light. Boots is getting compared to Roy Jones Jr. Justifiably so. But we're not comparing, but we're not comparing people to Boots Ennis because he's not that great yet. We think he can be that. He's got to prove it. Longer than just this one fight, but he's got to prove it. But there's a reason why that's a distinction. It's not just because of legacy. It's because you've carved out your own identity that is so unique. There is no one that we can look at and say, that's you. Now you are your own standard. That's when you know you've made it to the pantheon of excellence. You're not compared to the bar. You become a part of the bar. When you get to that level, that's when you know that you're legendary. That's when you know you've crossed a different plane of existence in the realm of legacy and iconic status. Boots hasn't crossed that threshold yet. This is the start of that story to make that plane of existence, of going beyond the generations. It starts here and it ends wherever it ends. But it starts now. But until it actually gets going, he's a great fighter. He's an elite fighter. But he's got a ways to go. And story still got stuff to be written. He still has a bunch of stuff to be written. But either way, we got to go. Boots is still the future. Yes, he is. Not do believe it. If we're wrong about him being the future, we're going to find out in this fight with Zayas. If we're not, though, the brother's going to do what he does best, which is go and dominate, potentially. But Zayas is not a walk in the park. That brother can give you some real work, and he's walking like he's confident in the face of somebody who should be able to outclass him. That shows you he may see something. So you better be mindful of it. But we got to go and get out of here because we got to go and end this show. It's been a phenomenal time with you all. I appreciate all the support and all of the love, but we had to go and end this off with a bang. So with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, nope, wrong button. Wait a minute. We got to go and we got to leave. So this has been another episode of The Welch Report with me, your host, Jean-Luc Welch. We thank you so much for tuning in and listening to the show on today. We hope you had a bunch of good times. We hope that you enjoyed all of the facets that this show had to offer. You all were a phenomenal audience. Y'all were incredible, and we appreciate all of you tuning in on our show today. We're going to be back on Friday covering more of the boxing world and beyond. Thank you to everybody who tuned in, and if you want to support the channel one more time, we got Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description, as well as Super Chat, Super Gifts, stickers, and the like if you can support this show. For the top charities of today, number one was Burr. Congratulations on being the top chatter for today. Number 2 was Johnny Blaze. Number 3 was Ramon Vasquez. Number 4, as we're going down the list for the top 5 charities of the day, was indeed, who was it? Oh, Beats Soul. And number 5 for the top 5 charities of the day was indeed Moon Man. So congratulations to our top 5 chatters, and congrats to who was it? Thinking I done missed the thing. I done forgot what I said was at the top of the mountain. Burr for the top 10. That's what it was. It was Burr as the top chatter today. But the most gifted chatter was Matt Borgerson with the most donations on our show with, I believe, what was it, $12 collectively that you gave to the show. We appreciate it, and we thank you all for tuning in. Everybody who came in and chatted on the show, y'all were spectacular. Y'all were wonderful. We're going to be back on Friday covering more of boxing and beyond, all for your viewing and listening pleasure. Leave a like on the video before you leave. Keep on commenting your thoughts and opinions on what you liked or didn't like about the show before we get it out of here, so you can make sure we can make this better for you to witness and enjoy. Rate us 5 stars on every podcasting platform. Listen to us wherever you listen to podcasts, and please be sure to share the show with everybody that you know, so we can keep on building up this empire together. And we thank you so much for tuning in and enjoying the day together. Have a great afternoon. Be safe, be blessed. We're gonna be back on Friday, same time, same place, same channel, championship rounds, so you all control the whole of the show. So be sure to tune in and get your questions ready. We want to hear your thoughts and opinions. But hey, I've been Jean-Luc Welch. Y'all have been absolutely wonderful. Peace and love. Oh, we are out here. Yes, sir. We are going to see you all on Friday. Have a great afternoon. Be safe. Be blessed. Salute to you. Peace and love. And we out of here. Yes, sir. Can't wait to see you all tomorrow. Be sure to hit the hype button on this video when it goes into its own standalone separate video on the channel. Helps us to also keep on pushing this show out to the algorithms across the globe. Use up all your hypes. It means the world to me and helps us out immensely. But we're gonna get out of here, and we're gonna see you all next time.